What's up, Retro Gamers, and welcome to episode 16 of Game Overcast. Now on this show, it's lights, camera, action! Hey, what's up? How you doing? They're looking at us. What are we gonna do? Oh God! Oh God, roll the intro!
Can I look away now?
Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of Game Overcast. And if you may have guessed, on this episode we're going to talk about video game movies. So we get to discuss the good, the bad, and the bowl. And you know exactly what I'm talking about here, probably.
Bowl.
Today I am joined by myself. You know, I always bring myself along in most places. It's kind of difficult to do it anyways. We have Brittany with us on our left.
Hello.
On your right. Did you say hello already?
Yeah.
Oh, she said hello. Hi, Brittany!
Hello.
And then we have John over here.
Hello, everybody.
I don't know. I feel like we should say something else, but...
I'm here, you're there, she's there. Let's do this.
Moving along. Okay, so news. We have a couple of news things. One, the... John, do you have a Retron 5?
No. Unfortunately, I do not yet.
Well, so much for that transition. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, here, ask me if I have one.
But do you have a Retron
As a
5?
matter of fact, yes, I do, John. Which is great. Do you have a Game Gear, John?
Nobody has a Game Gear.
Exactly.
Well, few.
A working Game Gear.
Few
Let's be
people
honest
have
here.
a working Game Gear.
Hyperkit has just released the Retron 5 3-in-1 adapter, which is really awesome.
Yeah,
it
we
plays...
Just got those in.
It does Master System carts, Master System cards. If y'all who don't know, the Master System actually had the cartridges that we're used to, and then like the TurboGrafx 16, like little, almost like credit cards.
Yep, kind
They're
of.
like these long, thin card shapes. They're a little bit thicker, but they're really awesome.
Yep.
Very fragile. Kind of tasty. Anyways,
For further construction, they were pretty solid, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
you
were.
say fragile, but they didn't really mess up much. There wasn't much to them, and everything was encased in melted plastic, so you couldn't really screw it up.
if you want to know what it looks like, just think of a DS cart and expand that to the size of a credit card. And it wasn't quite that thick, but it was close. It was only thicker than a credit card, like two credit cards.
Yeah.
It does that, and then it does Game Gear games.
Finally.
And if anyone's been to either a Game Over or any retro video game store, there are probably millions of Game Gear games. And there's lots of good Game Gear stuff. It's just that Game Gears, as a general rule, tend to die. And, you know, they weren't poor systems. This is just 20 years ago.
Well, it's not that the system itself was a bad thing. They didn't use the greatest parts in it. They tend to burn out.
They weren't built to last
They
a
weren't.
couple decades.
And it would have been cool if they had been, but I seriously doubt that they thought it was going to go this long.
Exactly.
So.
It's just like TurboGrafx.
Yeah.
They lasted for a good while, but, you know, we have now where Nintendos are still just kind of like laughing at everything.
Yeah.
And other consoles are kind of like, ugh, and like falling
Even the
apart.
Sega's still going, and it was junk.
Anyways, moving on for people with poor opinions. So
Brittany.
she somebody just agrees, like, yeah, what John said is right. The Sega was crap.
Hey, I wasn't a Sega kid. I tease him about it all the time.
Yeah.
I was the only kid on my block with a Sega.
I was that weird middle ground. I had a Sega, but went to my grandmother's to play the Super Nintendo. But there were those Sega games that I've always said that I really liked them. They might be crap. I don't care. I really liked them because it was all I had, so why not?
You know, I actually don't think I've ever told this story on the show before, where my very first video game experience was on an NES.
Okay.
And it was with this kid across the street who was kind of a jerk, actually, in retrospect. He was like 6 years older than me, so I kind of just put up with it, where I was like, okay, let's play a video game. So we went and played video games, and my first experience playing video games was playing Top Gun.
Oh.
And I hated the NES for a very long time after that.
I mean, a really good flying, shooting, not ever landing the plane game.
Right.
Yeah,
it was
that
great till we tried to land.
Yeah. The actual kind of rail shooter style was great. I liked that. It was fine, but then you get into landing the stupid plane, and I never knew what I was doing wrong.
No,
I still don't.
I don't get it. Just.
Oh well.
Do you? No, I don't think anybody does. But so that was my recollection of playing it. Like, cool, can we play Mario now? No. But I just want to play Mario, please. You know who you are. I don't remember what your name was, but you were a jerk. But that was my Sega love. So if you can't see it, though, this is it.
Yep.
It's awesome. Every one of our stores has it now. This is the last one here.
Yeah.
So if I don't take it home,
We're burning through them pretty quick.
maybe you should. If you can't see it all, like, what do you
Well, just Batman logo that thing in or something.
Through the magic of editing, it will appear here. and it's great because I have to do the editing, so I'm actually going to make it appear right there.
Yeah.
Good job, me. But there's that, which is awesome. And then the only other piece of news I have is, by the way, if you're looking at and actually watching the video, I'm actually sitting here staring at notes. So I'm not actually reading like runes on the table here. It's like, it says the pretzel sticks, say it. No.
I haven't had time to carve those yet.
No, get on it, man.
Okay. Sorry.
There has been several actually patches. Remember last show where I was talking about Breath of the Wild and how it's got some frame drops and some random freezes?
Yeah,
And
whenever you would actually go into console mode, it would actually start glitching out a little bit, or it would lag and all that. So.
And Britt thought I was crazy.
I
That
don't
was
think it's that
crazy.
bad.
A lot of people are saying
really
that they
don't.
see it, but they also don't think it's that bad. But when you have a system where its handheld version is working better than its console version, it's kind of weird. That's a problem. You should have
it's
just kept it
still-
at 720 and put it on my TV, and I still probably would have
still
loved
looks
it.
great. It still plays really well. I think
Okay.
he's being a little whiny.
Okay.
I'm being whiny because I spent $300 on a console for one $60 game, and that game, which is a AAA title made by Mr. Nintendo himself, freezes when I kill a moblin sometimes. But regardless of what you think and I think, Nintendo thought it was a big enough deal to do several patches to fix the problem. So it was a problem. So, but it does run much better now. It still has occasional jitteries, but also, to be fair, when I play a lot of my PC stuff, I play at like 144 FPS.
Yeah.
So I think I notice drops more.
But-
like consistency is.
But
fine.
when you can build your own PC, that's different.
True.
You're having to rely on the stuff that they threw into it. I can't
right.
modify that. So there is a point where you just kind of have to deal with
You
it.
take what you get, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mind like a lot of like the really rude PC elitists are like, ugh, my God, you play below 70 FPS, Luther. I don't. You can 30 FPS is fine.
Most
if
of the time,
stays.
it has to stay there. When you get that drop, though, you are going to notice it.
Yeah. And that's what does it. I'm just beating the mic. Your stupid microphone. But that's the only bit of news I has. I think that's cool. I like that Nintendo is supporting their stuff. It's weird for me to say that Nintendo is patching their games. I know it happens, but it's just kind of like,
It's about time.
yeah, it's strange. I know they've done it before too, but not that much.
Yeah.
Like, there was Smash Brothers updates, but I don't remember any like Skyward Sword updates because I didn't play the game. But but that's just me. But let's move on to now playing, and we'll start with Brittany because she's sitting over there twiddling her thumbs. And
I'm trying not to, I had my attention span,
the
So
fidgeting
I'm like,
begins.
hey, look at the stuff. Oh, wait, we're recording.
We're not in the basement today.
My bad.
Languid lady.
Leap. Anyways, we're actually upstairs out of the basement, so we actually have things to look at. So it's like video games, consoles, Mega Man, Windows. People.
I'm just waiting for people to walk
by.
by and stare at us like we're crazy, and then I can act crazy and see where their imagination goes from there.
So occasionally you might see us be like out the window, but it's okay. It's all under control. So Brittany, what are you playing right now?
I am playing.
I know what you're not playing because I can't play it either, and I hate you.
Yes.
Anyways,
So I'm playing Corpse Party for the 3DS and for the Vita.
at the same time.
At
Now,
the same
is that
time.
the same game?
No, they're different.
Oh,
so
okay.
I thought they were the same game, so I held off picking up the one for the 3DS.
Okay.
I was like, nah, why do I need a remaster? It's going to look really
That's
great.
the one you were playing where it seemed really weird and
Yeah.
probably should have been that version on the Vita
Yes.
because of its maturity.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
Save a bit of this because actually when we talk about
Okay.
the movie,
that's cool.
I'll have you explain the game a little bit more.
Okay, yeah. But I started playing it for the Vita, and I'm halfway through it on the Vita, but it's super hard. It got to a point where it's super hard.
Okay.
And I'm pretty frustrated, so I put it down just to pick up the one for the 3DS.
She says pretty frustrated. She's playing it on my Vita.
And has she broke your Vita yet?
She
No.
almost broke my Vita.
It's fine.
To give you an example, she'll be holding the Vita. Like, I've seen her playing this, okay? She'll hold it like this, and I can't, my knees are below the table, but she'll get it and be like, stupid thing, and like hit the Vita with it. I'm like, that's my Vita.
I am not
And
that bad.
And it's the original Vita, and it's the white version of the original Vita. You can't find those anymore. It's like, hey.
It just gets a little frustrating because the enemies, they're phantoms, that's
Yep.
what they're called, and you
ghosts.
can't kill them unless you acquire a talisman.
Okay.
And you have no choice when to use the talisman. If you just have it on you, then it just goes
So you're
away.
walking through the game and it's just like, guess what? Talisman gone.
Yes.
Yep.
But
So
if
there's
you
no
don't
strategy.
find one, you have to run from it, and you have to find like a locker and
Okay.
hide in there. And sometimes, if they see you go into the locker, it's smart enough that it'll pull you out
like
of the
Alien
locker,
Isolation.
and it beats
Okay.
you when it's game over.
Okay.
So it's super frustrating sometimes.
I don't know if I like the idea of it not letting me choose when to use a talisman because there's probably
Yeah.
some of them that are easy to
Yeah.
get away with.
Yes, and
And
that was
then others that it's like, I really need this talisman now.
Yes.
Yep.
And that was part of my frustration because some of them you can run to another room and that's it, they leave you alone. But some of them will actually chase you into whatever room you go to. You actually have to find a
They
locker.
do a full-on nemesis thing.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, it drives me crazy. So there are some phantoms that I would have rather not used a talisman.
Yeah.
Talisman?
Talisman.
Talisman.
Salami?
A talisman for, but
Yeah.
you know, I had to, so.
Okay.
But it's really
I
good.
still might pick
it's
it
still
up,
really,
but-
really good. It's a fantastic
I've
game.
realized after doing these podcasts with you guys that I'm probably the most like, I might do that gamer out there. I'm like,
One of these days
I might pick it up because I've realized that I just collect games for the longest time and I've been doing it and now I'm just like I don't know if I'll ever actually get to this.
But it looks real pretty over
It
there on the wall.
does. It
That
does.
collector's edition. But if you definitely play both of them, it's worth
Okay.
it. Now the Vita version,
The Vita's actually part 2, isn't it?
the Vita version is part 2,
So
and
get
graphically, it's prettier, like
Okay.
way
Well,
prettier.
it's on the Vita,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. But the 3DS version is the first story.
Okay, so play through that one
to
and then
get
go
more out of it,
through
you won't
Vita.
be confused. I picked up the Vita version first, but it was a lot of like I had to infer a lot of stuff. Oh, okay, put 2 and 2 together, which was fine. It wasn't that confusing. The story's still really
High
good.
School Ghost. Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah, but the first one I would definitely recommend in order.
Okay.
So the 3 is the one where with like the hands and the arms and the, you know what I'm talking about, without spoiling too much of the ending. You know, no, you don't.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Sorry, it took
If
a
you
while,
plan
and
to
then I
ever
was
watch
like,
the movie, you understand, and I might talk
yeah.
about it when we actually get to the movie because it was one of the
Yes.
most hilarious.
Or the
endings to a film
anime.
I've
The
ever seen
anime
in
is
my
really
life.
good, too.
That's right, the anime
Yeah,
also.
the
Also
anime
an
is
anime.
awesome.
Japan knows how to do their stuff.
They really
multitask.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get to that. Okay, so is that it, Brittany? Is that what you're playing right
Yep.
now? Cool. So me, Matt, what are you playing right now? Well, Matt, I have been trying to play Persona 5. Trying. When I say trying, I can't because me and Britt bought one copy for ourselves, and we can only play it when we hang out together and watch it, or play it together. And for some reason, due to me working a lot and her working
It's
a
so
lot,
cute. It's disgusting.
shut up. It just hasn't happened. So we're like,
It's hard to coordinate our
yeah,
time.
an hour into this game, and I'll go to other stores, and they'll people, you know, I'll have other managers talking, Alexa, talking about the game. I'll be like, shut up, I don't know, I haven't been there, shush.
But so far, the game is pretty perfect.
For the 1 hour we're there, the music is just traditionally amazing. Persona music, the character design's great.
So
This is
good.
one you've been pushing for me to actually pick up.
Oh, it's so good. And you know what you're getting into if you played any other Persona game. It's not really that much different.
No.
It's just everything has like style and like the menus pop at you like a comic book almost. And you're a bunch of cat burglars. So you've got like the mask. It's like and that's Cowboy Bebop, and I don't care. It gives you that kind of feeling though. It's really awesome. And funny story. So
good.
I have a funny story for each game because I talk a lot. Sorry, listeners.
Didn't the director of Cowboy or one of the
Watanabe?
Yeah, he just went, didn't he? He passed away.
No.
Which
Good
one
Lord,
was it?
no. I don't know. It wasn't him. I'd be sad.
Or was
Fact
it?
check.
Yeah, there was one of the big dudes
That's
who
sad.
just went
Somebody
recently.
did, yes. It was. It
I
wasn't
can't remember
him.
which one, but yeah. Either way, sorry. Continue.
That's okay. So we're playing, and if you play Persona 5, you know what we're talking about here. We're in the beginning of the game. It's the first 5 minutes, but
Okay, yeah.
you start the game doing this big crime, and you get caught and thrown in jail. So the game
Okay.
starts, and you're being abused by these 2 police detectives, and you're just like kicking you, punching you, whatever. And they're like,
There's
"Here,
videos out there of that.
Yep. Sign this confession, kind of thing. So your guy, and this is gonna be my prop for the rest of the show, just so you know. So you're sitting there holding this clipboard and a pen, like all just like bruised and bloody, like, and that's when you have to decide your name for the show. For the show,
Okay.
for the game. The name
For
of
the
the
game.
show.
Yeah.
This is now Persona Overcast. Mouthful. So you have to decide your name for the game.
Okay.
And so when we finally got this, we did this after the midnight release. So we're sitting there both really tired. Like, what do we call him? Oh, I don't know. God. So
God. Okay. Cool.
yes, exactly. That was one of the options. So like a half hour goes by, and this guy's just sitting there on the screen like,
Bleeding out.
the detective was like, "Oh God, Murphy, you hit him way too hard. He's screwed now." And finally came up with a name of just hilarious thing, and like, man, that poor guy, just sitting with a clipboard. What do we end up calling him?
Captain Satan.
That's right.
I mean, you are in a game that you befriend demons and.
To be fair, we're looking around my apartment for examples.
Oh,
and I have
I know which one you're talking
I
about.
have
Yeah,
this
that.
poster of this old like dime novel pulp thing called Captain
Yeah.
Satan. It's this guy with like a Tommy gun and stuff. So it's not as bad as you think. It's not like Hellraiser, yay!
No,
I'll post a picture of it, something right there. Cool, awesome. That's gonna be fun.
I like the spotlight Like that's behind. It's just a really cool piece of.
It's cool,
art.
like old, like 30s kind of
Yeah.
pulp art and stuff. So I'm playing that, and then I'm also playing Ghost Recon Wildlands with a couple friends of mine on PC right now. We got a pretty good deal. I got it for like $30, so I was like, screw it, I'll get
That's
it.
the real reason why no Persona. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying.
No. Nope,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyways, and that actually is a lot of fun. It's gotten meh reviews, and if you go into it trying to play it like a Ghost Recon, you'll be sorely disappointed because it's not.
Okay.
It's a reasonably good military open world Ubisoft game.
All right.
That kind of explains all you need to know about it, pretty much. The bullet physics are actually really good, so you have to snipe, because it's a big open world where you're in Bolivia, I think.
Okay.
Which is just generic open world forest desert place, but whatever. Apparently it's Bolivia.
Okay.
And you do lots of long range sniping, and that's really cool because the bullets actually kind of arc and tilt depending on what the way the wind's going.
Oh, that's actually
so
pretty
that's really
fun.
cool.
All right.
But the plane controls are less than ideal, and by that I mean absolute crap.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
usually you fly a plane and you have like up, down, left, right, maybe some rudder controls and some physics. Nope, they spend it all on the bullets. So I'm doing this one mission where we have to steal like a drug runner plane, this cute little like prop job Cessna thing, and like run it back to like a rebel base where they take it and the CIA will keep it or whatever.
Okay.
So we're flying back there, and my friend who just doesn't want to fly, he's letting me fly, which was his first mistake. Lets me fly, and we're flying through, and a thunderstorm starts kicking in, so there's lightning crashing down, and I'm just like, in my little plane. And he sees the air thing, and I think to myself, I could just land this plane, or I could have some fun with it. So I tell him, it's like, hey, I can't get it. His screen name is Cloudy. So we go by there, and I say, I can't really get a good angle. Let me go past it. So we turn around past the thing, and I start going away from the airstrip. And at that point, I'm on my phone bringing up Highway to the Danger Zone. So then I crank this, flip the plane over, and flip it upside down. And he's like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Because it's a story mission, so if we crash, we have to do the whole thing over again. I'm like, don't worry about it. We're good. So we flip down, like smash into the trees. These controls are really bad. I probably should have crashed. And we're coming up to the airstrip when I realize, what are those dots that are coming into frame? What is that? Cows! There's cows going across the landing strip, just like a herd of cows. So we kind of landed. I mean, we took out a couple cows and had a nice dinner, but we landed. It's good.
How sad.
It's just, so when we're playing cow, Claudia's like, are there cows anywhere? I'm like, no, we're good. We're safe. It's all right. But them cows, dude, cows and
As long
alpacas
as you
are
didn't
everywhere.
kill any sheep, it's all good.
I have
Why, they're
deliberately
delicious
killed
too.
Yes. I'll just walk by in a field and be like, with my little silent
Aw.
sniper.
It is so cute.
But that's what I'm up to. How about you, John?
I got accepted into the beta for the Necromancer.
Oh, are you
So,
serious?
yeah. So I've been playing that on Diablo 3. Granted, when I got in, the Necromancer's offline for
They
maintenance.
took him off, yeah, I
so
heard
it's
about
just
that.
like, well, challenge rifts are actually kind of interesting.
What's a challenge rift?
They're making it so, all right, so you select, you're going to do a challenge rift. They give you a random character with preset gear. It's really good gear. And you got to try to beat the time of the person that ran it before you.
Oh, God.
Ooh, that's cool.
It gets hard because I've only played wizards. I just like the class. I know how to do that class.
You fry things.
Yeah, you destroy everything, and then they're like, "Here's your barbarian." I'm like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
Granted,
Spinneroonie.
playing as the
really like that
barbarian,
concept.
Yeah.
it's fun. I had no idea how to stay alive though as the barbarian, so I just was like, "Oh, I'll click the buttons. Let's do this." I'm dead.
With the barb, it's kind of counterintuitive because most barb builds, you thrive by jumping in. It's going.
Yeah. And I was trying to see if I could
why I
power
like
myself
buttons.
up, so it got to the point where I was just like, "Fine, jump, do this yell."
Are your skills preset also?
You can change them a little bit. I haven't messed around with it too much just because after doing that, I realized I would like to keep trying to randomize it until I got a wizard. But I understand why it's going to be fun, and I am going to use it. So far, it's pretty cool.
And I think it adds a lot of spice to the game because, I mean, by the time I think I reached like Paragon level 100, and I think you're like a level 1,000.
It's like
Something
640. Thank you very
Crazy.
much.
Something crazy. After a point, you're
not
like,
beating my friends, and
okay.
I'm running with them, and I think the highest was like almost 1,400.
Holy cow.
Ludicrous.
Thank you.
Holy cow.
Because I'll run with them, and it's just like, just stay at the edge of the rift.
Yeah.
So I'll hop into those things and just watch my
You
levels
level
go
up
up.
in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I actually,
Currently, I'm at like 4 or something.
Nice.
It's
but
not that
after
high.
a while, it can get like. Oh,
It still
okay, well,
gets
this really-
challenging. After a while, it doesn't matter who you're running
No,
with.
when you're
It just
running
gets
how they're
hard.
trying to-
60, 70 plus. I mean,
Yeah.
and people are running like the mid hundreds at this point.
Yeah.
But
I
those
do
are
like how they're
ridiculous.
trying to spice it up a little bit though,
Yeah.
because we've gone through the game how many times?
At that point, because when we're at where I am on a regular character, it's about min-maxing your gear and getting the right rolls, and I'm very impatient. So I can't
I've
do
gotten
it.
to the point where I'm cool with doing that. I don't mind. It's the only gambling I probably like in life because I like keeping my money.
Yeah.
And
No more auction houses. Screw you, Blizzard.
yeah, it doesn't make sense to do that.
I just a couple days ago I started playing D3 again on season 10.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna much because it was short, but I've made a Demon Hunter, which is new for me.
Okay.
And I'm playing hardcore for the first time in Diablo 3.
Yeah. Yeah, you were telling me.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. Because you have that one time, it's like I died.
And nothing carries over. Everyone's like, "Oh, I've got Paragon levels." No, you don't.
Nope.
Nope. It carries nothing over. So
Not with a
you're at level
hardcore.
1.
Hardcore is one of those that's just, it's for fun. See how far you can get.
Yep.
And that's it.
I'm like mid-act 2, level 40. It's actually really easy. I've had to heal once. I'm on expert too, so that it won't
Okay.
let me crank the difficulty any higher.
Yeah, because you have to get through that first.
It's like,
But
come on. And Demon Hunter's just, I know they're technically one of the best classes out there. They always have been.
Okay.
For like solo,
Sure.
greater rift thing, they are the betters. I know Wizard is up there also.
Okay.
But they're like currently in the meta, they're one of the best character classes out there.
that
for solo
I
stuff.
looking at monks, they look really fun
Monks are
too.
beast, yeah.
Yeah.
But right now, I feel like such a wuss. And I'm just like, arrow, grenade, dodge. Oh, goodness. And just running away
That's what's
forever.
fun about a demon.
Yeah.
I started as a demon hunter. That was my first class.
You can tell why I play Barbarian. I jump in and spin till things die.
Yeah.
Or cause earthquakes and stuff like that. Like my last Barbarian build is called, it's one of the leap quake things where you jump in, stomp, and every move you do causes rocks to fall from the ceiling and everything just blows up. This is like ka-chink, ka-chink, dodge, ka-chink. I'm like, "Argh!" No, it doesn't really go. So I'm probably going to kill myself at some point where it's like, nah.
Probably.
No.
You're
But
getting
once you
impatient.
get I can't speak English today. Jeez.
Let's try that again. Go,
But this time
Brittany.
in Latin.
But once you get those blades, you know what blades I'm talking about?
The chakrams?
Yes.
They suck.
No.
I'm using the
They're
invasive
so
fire
fun.
and
Put a lot of
strength.
power into it.
What do you mean a lot of power? Like, just like, do you want me to like shout? It's not a
No,
giant
you
robot
can-
where I was like, chakram throw!
No, but you can upgrade them, can't you?
No.
Really?
What game are you playing?
I could have. I
No,
swear.
you can put different runes into them, but
Yeah.
it just changes how they work. Doesn't make them any less crappy.
I liked mine. I felt like I did
Teach
a lot
their
of
own. I
damage.
mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
I feel like I did a lot of damage with them. I thought you could upgrade them. Maybe not.
She didn't really do a lot of damage. We just
I did. No, because it.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
I've got a
Get out of
bat.
here. Get out of here.
I had meat shields, so I didn't care. Let's do
I
this.
did. I had a bat, and I named him Bruce.
That's great.
It's fantastic.
So happy
It's
for
fantastic.
you.
Anyway.
But either way, with the
Okay, so moving right along. So that's what you're playing right
for the
now.
most part, yeah, that and Axiom Verge, because I bought a physical copy
Did you
months
finally
back.
open it, or did you buy it?
No, I bought it on my Vita. I was like, I'm not willing to open this, so I bought a copy on the Vita too, so I
So
could play
good,
it.
isn't it?
I hit a point where I can't figure out where I'm supposed to go, and I don't know if I skipped something. So I've nearly slammed my head into something multiple times just to see if I could figure out what I'm doing
If
wrong.
it screwed you up, there's a couple parts where I was just like,
There's something that I'm missing,
Mm-hmm.
and part of me's like, look up a strat for it, and the other part's like, no,
Nope.
I don't need that,
suffer.
but I do.
the soundtrack is so good.
Yeah, no, I love the soundtrack. I like the Metroidvania stuff, and I'm
Doesn't
wishing
hold your
there was
hands.
more. No, it doesn't. There's a lot more dialogue than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So I don't really need
It
it.
fades off about half. Like once you
Yeah.
meet the I forget what they're called, but the robot
Yeah.
things, it kind of goes away for a good chunk of the game, and then
Yeah.
it comes back towards the end. But
I love the abilities. It's so fun. If you haven't played it, play it. It's worth it.
power is ridiculous. It's so cool.
Yes.
Can
Yeah.
you go through walls yet?
Yes, certain walls. I can do
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah, that's really
That you
good.
can upgrade to so you can go further through walls.
Oh, okay, so there are thicker walls that I can
Yeah.
get through.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good to know.
Where it's like, why can't I? Can you do you have like your little flea friend?
Yes, got him.
Yeah.
So I got the little the drone or whatever it's
it
called.
looks like a little flea. But
Yeah, kind of.
So-
That's interesting. I like that mechanic. There's not much on the game so far other than me being stuck that I'm like, this is pointless.
Yeah.
I like what they did with it. I'm hoping there's others that are going to come out in that line or
I'm waiting to play a game. Apparently, Hollow Knight is supposed to be really good.
Okay.
But I'm waiting for it to come out to the Switch, and everything for the Switch apparently only comes out like 10 years after it's been released for the Switch. I'm looking
Awesome.
at Rayman Legends and Lego Undercover, but it's
more
on,
reason that I'm okay with not buying one.
It's on Steam already, and it's supposed to be really, really good.
Okay.
But that's like Axiom Verge, where I kind of want to play it on the go.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting. I might just get impatient and buy it on my computer at some point, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into our question of the month, and then we'll take a break. So,
Okay.
in going with our video game movie discussion, I have a two-pronged question here for y'all. So, that's not the right note. That's the right note. Cool. I'm like, that's has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So, I want you to pick 2 games, okay, that you'd like to see made into a movie or series that hasn't been already. One of which is one that you can see actually happening, like that would actually make sense and maybe be done correctly. I know that none of them have, just about, but that could be. And then one that either would just never happen, or there's no way in heck it would ever actually possibly work. And explain why, pretty much.
Okay.
And
This is hard.
because
It is kind of a hard.
It
Like
is.
I can figure out my realistic ones. Like, but I have a couple that I would like to see, and they're all on PlayStation. Because there've been Halo movies, and some of them are actually okay. But I'm not the biggest Halo fan, so I don't care. But
Yeah.
when it comes to the unrealistic one, I have no idea, because I'd like to say things like Dante's Inferno, but it does exist.
technically it exists, yeah.
Yeah, the anime for it.
And we
it
talked
was
about-
great.
It was. It actually wasn't
I
bad
loved
at all.
how they switched the art styles.
Yeah, that was good.
Like every chapter,
I was happy with
layer
it.
of hell he went through was.
I'm
really good.
actually, I'll clarify for the dinner, but we actually, when we talk about video game movies, we're only going to talk about live action ones.
Yeah.
So we're avoiding everything animated, or pretty much everything animated. We'll talk about like a couple CG animated ones, but that's it. So if you haven't seen the Dante's Inferno animated thing yet, even though you may not like the game, it's really good. It's
Yeah.
one of those, what do you call it? It's a bunch of like shorts. It's sort of like Batman Gotham Knight, if you haven't seen that. I think you guys have both seen it already.
Yeah.
Have I seen?
Or have you
no.
or the Animatrix? It's like that.
Yeah.
Where it's a bunch of.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen the other one, where it's just a
I've
bunch
seen
of
that.
little shorts from different talented
That-
animators.
okay, yeah.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. But I'd have to say, for one of mine, probably be the one that would never happen because no one knows what this game is. I would love to see a Game of Thrones budgeted television series based on Tachyon the Fringe. And I think I've mentioned it on the
Okay.
show once or twice before. Tachyon the Fringe is this really, really awesome space shooter, kind of like in the vein of like Star Citizen or Wing Commander or Freelancer.
Okay.
Where it's from first-person perspective, and you get different ships, and you go through, and it's got multiple storylines where you can join up with one of 2 factions and go to a whole bunch of different areas, do like piracy missions and military missions and not gathering, but like collect cargo.
So you're saying this is the one that you don't think would ever get made, mainly because of popularity.
no one knows what it is.
Okay, so if they made a movie like this, people would go see it and still have no idea where it originated.
Right.
But,
But it would-
might actually sell.
But it would be amazing.
Okay.
Because the main character is also voiced by Bruce Campbell.
I'm completely okay with
So
that.
just take Brucey,
Hail to the king.
yeah, throw him in a spaceship, and throw money at it and film it. That's all the game was. Is him like, well, hey, and blowing crap up. That's
Okay.
all it was. So good. But so I would kill to get my hands on that, but it'll never happen because that's I think an early 2000s PC only. I've never been able to find it again. I saw it like at a Walmart on clearance one day, and I was like, "Oh, buy that, mommy!" kind of thing. And
Okay.
yeah. But that would be one for me that probably would just never happen because there's no way anyone knows what it is.
Okay. One that you want that you think could?
One that I think could probably work. I had it and I forgot what it was, so I'm going to let Britt go first.
Okay.
And we'll go back around.
So hard. Okay. I actually have a few.
Go for it.
So there's already been a Japanese version, but definitely Fatal Frame.
Cheater.
It's one. It's true. So it didn't have an international release, so it was only released in Japan, and it was only
tried.
released.
We
Yeah,
couldn't find
we
it.
could not find it anywhere, and it was only released in Singapore.
Okay.
So America. Right, exactly.
There's more than
Didn't get
road
it.
there, buddy.
Wheels
So,
spin real fast.
so I think that would be really cool as long as it's done correctly.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite games. I would love to see a live
The
action
idea
version
would
of
be
that.
really good. But
I know one
wasn't there a
exists, but we
movie
can't see it.
about that though?
An American one?
I don't remember.
I
No,
don't think so.
the only
there was that
one-
really bad cell phone one.
Well, no, I know that one. That was junk, but
I don't think there is one. No.
I thought there was
The
one
only
about
one
a
was the
camera.
Japanese one, and
Whatever.
we can't get our hands on
Yeah.
that. So something that we,
We
could
all
actually get our
tried.
hands on here in America would be super lovely. Actually, I think a Fable movie would be kind of cool.
Could be.
Yeah.
I think that could work, like a fantasy weird.
It could, but would you? The only way, well, I have no way of saying this properly, I guess, or with clear
Family-friendly
train of
show.
thought. Yeah. All right, you know how they did The Spirit Within Final Fantasy movie?
Yes.
I loved that, but I also had the idea from the beginning that there's so many just non-linked Final Fantasy games that I didn't care that it just pulled pieces from them and put it together into a fun movie to watch.
Right.
They could do it that way, or they could follow. I would prefer them to like the first Fable, at least the story, not all the extra side stuff.
Like Jack of Blades and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
That would actually be pretty cool.
You know,
I really could see it. If it's done correctly.
Yeah.
I could really see that.
Yeah, we could just let Bull do it.
Oh no.
one more lamb for the slaughter.
Right? No.
You know, I'm thinking Bruce Campbell, so I'm thinking campy and cheesy. But can you think of Fable done like Hercules' Legendary Journeys kind of thing? Yes, come on, come on.
So do it as a series more than.
Yeah, you'd watch it.
I'd probably watch it.
You'd watch it, like Xena. I'm a nerd. You know it's true. It's okay.
Yeah,
Those were good.
They were bad but good. Yes.
It's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I still watch Doctor Who, and it's bad
Yeah.
but good at the same time.
What?
I don't know. I may be crazy, but like Castlevania.
No.
Has that ever been a movie?
No, but
That
that
would
could
be
be
a-
cool. I
See,
think
if
too
you
many
can
people,
do-
though, in society would just be like, "Oh, it's just another vampire movie."
Yeah.
But if you followed
would
the
be
actual
cool.
lore of it, I would. Actually, I know the ones that I would pick, so I'll mention those
It'd
in
be
a
an
moment.
Oster monster movie. No,
Oster monster.
It'd be this. It's a blender.
English is hard tonight.
It would be. But I would
think
like
so.
to see it from Symphony of the Night's perspective. That would
Yeah.
be, but that could probably just be my bias towards loving
And I
that
think
game. And,
vampires would be really easy, much easier to work with.
yeah, and you would get those
If you're
people that
not
are just into
moving.
vampires. They would still go
yeah.
watch it just because it has vampires.
Yeah.
And if you made it well enough and gave it a decent budget and you had good actors, it could actually
And
just
if-
be fun
If
anyway.
you really think about Castlevania lore, there aren't a lot of actual vampires.
No, there's
other stuff like
very
skeletons
few,
and
but-
fish people and
Yeah.
So it'd just be as if
Murlocs.
Like, yeah, Murloc. Oh, hold on a second.
No. And water goes everywhere, and I'm not into showers from mouths.
But that would be awesome. You were saying, Britt, sorry.
Okay, and then as for...
It's more than 2 movies, by the way, but go on.
I know, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
I don't mind.
I have more than 2 for
Yeah.
mine, but
And then as for a few that I would... If it could ever be done correctly, but I doubt it, I don't think they would ever work. Don't yell at me. I think it would be really cool to see a live-action Pokemon.
I am cool with that. I want them to make the Pokemon realistic looking.
See, that would be cool.
Because I've seen a lot of that darker style art, but I want you to kind of get away from the kid, like
Yeah.
friendly Pokemon, and you make these things monsters that you're trapping and fighting with.
Pokemon
Have you got the
cage
bio
fighting.
for some of these things?
Yeah, some
It's
of the
crazy.
Pokemon are crazy and creepy, and that's the only ones I really like Phantom or whatever. It's the little Phantom Stump
The one that leads kids into the forest?
No, that's Drifloon,
okay.
the balloon one, which I still want someone to make a picture of a kid getting led into the forest by a Drifloon or whatever it's called, and then there'd just be some phantoms in the background because
So cool.
the story or whatever, one of the texts for the phantoms is that they were created by the souls of lost children
Okay,
in the
that's what it was
woods,
then.
which is just, but the balloon one's just like, this one leads kids away sometimes. It's just like, so you have Pokemon that kidnap people, take them away, and then it's just like, let's kill them and make other Pokemon. It's a good horror movie, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't think...
I
I'm
just-
not really a fan of CG.
Okay.
I love, like...
But there's only
movies that
so
use
much you could do
practical
practical effects on something that big.
Okay.
That's why I really feel...
I like a really well meshed mix.
Yeah.
That's the best you can do
When
is
it's
just
used
mix
correctly.
them right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I still like movies that have CG in it.
Yeah.
It's just not my favorite thing. And 30 years from
that
now,
overuses it.
Labyrinth still looks great. Legend still looks great.
Jurassic Park.
But Pacific Rim, when you watch it in
Eh,
4K,
when you get it into
it's a
4K
wonderful
finally,
movie,
it's just like,
and
oh.
Del Toro is one of my favorite directors.
It looked kind of cheesy.
But
though.
it looks really cheesy now.
Yeah.
I'll still watch it.
I think
still love
4K
it,
is
but it
killing a
does
lot
look-
of movies, even new ones, because you're not quite getting that at the theater. There's
Yeah.
still some fuzziness to it, and I
Yeah.
think that helps hide the flaws.
Yeah.
And the higher definition we're making TVs, it's just like, like whether you like the Transformer movies or not, watching them in 4K is painful.
Like, look
Oh,
at all
yeah.
the parts flying by.
Yeah, there weren't that many parts right there. That looks like plastic. Okay, cool.
All those movies just suck, but I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
But that's ultimately why I feel
And this
like
is coming from Matt, who loves Transformers.
This is Robot Matt here, and I can also say those movies are terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing this new one.
No.
It's the first.
You'll watch it.
No, I went to go see
You
Age
won't
of
see it in
Extinction,
theater.
and I fell asleep.
I can see why. It was bad.
It was so bad, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Battle
Mark Wahlberg's
fatigue.
like, hey everyone, I'm Mike Wahlberg. Let's talk to some animals. No,
I don't care.
no, I really don't. Like, if they would make a Transformers movie without the humans,
Might be okay.
it's just like I don't need that. Like, we need to relate. No, it's a robot with a laser gun. I got it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Get rid of Shia and Marky Mark and whoever the heck these new.
Give us live action Gundam.
Hopkins in this new one, and
That'd be
welcome
cool.
to Game Over Robot Gripecast. By the way, I'm your host Matt, where I gripe about bad robot movies.
Come on.
all of them.
Matt. Live action Gundam.
It exists. It's
But
terrible.
no, good live action. And I want to start with the beginning.
If it works, that would be great.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be in my never gonna happen floor.
That would, isn't that?
Ever since G
would
Savior,
be in
people are
there.
like, nope, nope. Quick side note. So everyone here at least knows what a Gundam is. Gundam right there. About a decade ago, they made a live-action Gundam movie called G Savior, and they farmed it out to a Canadian company. And it's one of the dumbest, worst
Cool.
movies. I own it, by the way.
We're going to watch that soon.
It's so bad, dude. Like, have you ever seen Reboot?
Yeah.
I love Reboot, but Reboot was also like mid-90s, horrible CGI, but it was top
But it
of the
was
line.
what it could do,
Yeah, for back
what they could
then.
do at that time. Yeah.
It looks like that. It was made in like 2004.
That's beautiful.
Like all the robots are kind of like floating through space with my thing. pushing me in. That was too fast. Sorry, I can't move that slow. I get hyper. Anyways, sorry. So, what else we got?
All right. So movies that I would do
Yes.
won't happen.
Hold on.
Oh, you got one more.
I'm sorry. I'm
The
sorry.
longest question ever.
I know. I'm so sorry, but I have to say this one.
Okay.
But ultimately, that's why I think that Pokemon wouldn't work. I also think that Legend of Zelda would never work
No.
because.
Because the cartoon.
No, just
But
Link
what
walking
would
around.
Link sound like?
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody has
He's a
their
mute that
own.
grunts. That's it.
Exactly, but everybody has their own interpretation of Link.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how his Link is different from
My Link just doesn't give a crap.
Mine's a mute.
Yeah.
He can't speak.
Link's
He
actually
grunts
mute.
and screams and just bobbleheads so that he can go kill things. He's a
Mine is
sociopath.
sweet boy, like Astro Boy. Or,
Oh, that's
you know,
dumb.
He's a sweet child.
Examples of personalities here. Just doesn't care. Wishes he was a robot. Probably an elf. Stabs
Sociopath.
things.
Yeah.
So I don't think they could do that.
Why Zelda's
No.
such a good game because it personifies you.
It is one of those where well, see, that's the same problem we would have with Fable is you play this generic character that you kind of make the story for.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were to do the Fable again, they would have to not care about the main character and just do the lore-based story.
Yeah.
But I
That
feel
would
like
be
it would
fine.
be less dangerous to take a chance on that Fable character than
Yes.
to take a chance on Link.
That's true.
'Cause
Just
Link is
because of
Link.
Yeah.
it's because of what it is and not
So
that it would
iconic.
be any worse.
Fable guy is.
It's just generic
Fable.
And
person.
let's face it, it would be torn to shreds. Regardless of, even if they did a decent job, it would be torn to
Half the
shreds.
people might like it, the other people would
And
be
the other
like,
people
it's
would love
junk.
it no
So
matter how much it is because that's what Nintendo fanboys
that's-
do.
yeah. Okay.
Anyways.
Bitter.
Not bitter, it's just a fact.
It's how it would be.
You either love it or you hate it. There's two distinct groups where if Nintendo makes something, everybody hates it, and there's a group that love it. And they
That's
could
true.
make a big block of red plastic that explodes, and people would hate it, people would love it. And the people like me, they're like, well, it's a block of plastic. And I get made fun
I
of
guess
for,
it's
not,
true.
for not either loving it or hating it. So, yeah.
In extremes.
Like my indifference for the Switch. I don't
Yeah,
care.
It's a thing.
It's a thing, and if I ever feel like it, I'll buy it.
It's an amazing Disgaea machine. It's made its money back because I could just take Disgaea 5 with me everywhere.
Disgaea by itself is not worth
Power level,
$300.
my demon people.
Whatever.
Anyways, movies. Come on.
We'll start with my non-realistic because I seriously doubt they will do it because they're already having trouble with the WoW movie. I want a Diablo movie.
Oh, good Lord, John.
That would be so cool.
I want it. I
Yes.
want them to not. You could actually make it a group effort kind of movie where it's not just one hero. There's a group of heroes, like the original 3 would be great, that are going to fight Diablo, and it's a team effort. That would be great. That way you're not singling out just one class and whatnot, and you can kind of just bring all the lore in. I love the lore for Diablo. It's really fun. I think a good beginning to it would be the creation of the planes of existence and how the demons split apart.
Kind of like a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Or like quick.
I would see that so hard.
It would be really, really good, and I would get chills if they do it right. I mean, you need some really good narration going on, and
I mean, they could. The Warcraft movie was profitable.
we'll get into it. I did watch Warcraft. We all have slightly different opinions on it, but we'll get into that later. Now, for my realistics, I've got a few that I think would actually be realistic. I know you said two, but one, Uncharted.
They're doing that.
I know.
Yeah.
So as long as they do
Super
it right,
excited.
Indiana Jones.
it's Indiana Jones, but I like the character more.
Yeah.
He's a little bit more realistic.
I love Uncharted.
And there's
That would
not
be
many
great.
games where I've played and been like, it's okay, Nathan, we can make it. Maybe.
Quit getting shot and thrown out of trains.
Exactly. Like, I felt bad for that character as he was going through the story, and it was just like, it can't get worse for this guy.
He's
and it
always
does.
getting screwed.
Yeah, eventually you would imagine he just locks himself away and just burns the world down. So
I think that's what happened in between 3 and 4. Was like, I guess I'll get married and be a salvage diver. I'm done with this crap.
yeah.
But I could really, like, I'm excited for that. I hope, just don't mess it up. All the material is there, all
Yeah.
the source material. Just go from there. It'll be great. They could make it great.
They could.
God, those games are so good.
Another PlayStation, Infamous. You can start at any point in time, and you don't need to pick a main character.
Rock that Cole McGrath or anybody.
Yes.
Any of
else
them.
into
But
it.
I would actually be cool with. I don't think you could start in the middle.
Yeah.
Or from like Second Son, you would probably want an origin story for it. I would.
Yeah, start with the boom.
I want the big boom and make them good or bad. I'm completely cool with a production company going, you know what? We're not going to make a good guy. Let's make the entire movie about someone that just got bitter. Why don't you do that? What's
That would be
so
cool. I could see
scary
that.
about making a bad guy your main character and just follow his, downgrade?
ways.
Yeah, it's fine. And then you make another movie and he turns around if you really want. But I like a good bad guy.
You know what I think the ultimate awesome video game movie would be? Would be something like Infamous or any game that has a good bad system. Make 2 movies.
Ooh, yes.
That gets really costly, though.
That's why that would never happen.
But that would be a good
awesome.
idea.
I mean, you could do it as shorts,
Yeah.
maybe, but no. I mean, full-length movies film the exact same stuff, but it's a mirror
Different results.
dimension
Like
essentially.
things change
where,
radically if you're good or bad.
Yeah.
That's what can be really cool about
Or
it.
you could just have a separate story.
You
It
could-
could be like
You could take it in wildly different directions if you aren't making
Yeah.
the same game. If you're actually making a separate movie, you could go nuts with it, where it's like things kind of intertwine, like
Okay.
they do in some kind of really cool movies, where you have scenarios going to come together. But if it's just the movies,
Just go, yeah.
just whatever.
You know what would be cool? I just thought of this. And I can't believe because
One
this-
more, and then we have to take a break because this is gonna.
I'm so
we
sorry.
could do a whole show.
I
on
know.
this. That would be
Well,
But this,
cool.
I got
can't
one
believe
more
I didn't
after
think of
that,
this
but-
because this game is my baby. BioShock.
Yeah.
Also,
I
something
could
that they're
see
talking
that.
But that
about
would be
doing.
really.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's in the
I love
works-ish.
BioShock.
If they made BioShock, I want it to be like a not necessarily cyberpunk, but a steampunk horror.
Yeah,
For sure.
The first game.
Because
Because
the
it
first
should
game.
be that way.
When we did the horror podcast, I talked about BioShock being a horror game because
Yeah.
I feel like
Especially
And a lot of
it
people are
counts.
just
It
like
counts.
that was one of the few games that I played in the dark and actually had a few moments where I jumped. Like most horror games, I kind of predict stuff happening.
Atmosphere is so
Yeah.
perfect.
But it's when you're in, I think, the theater and you go downstairs
with
in
the
that
body.
basement
Yeah.
and you see the mannequin and you walk towards the mannequin and turn around and then there's just mannequins around you. And I was just, I had that moment where I convulsed slightly.
Even in the beginning when you have to break through this, like, I don't know what it is, like wood or I don't know what you have to break through. You have to break through something and you see like the shadow of a little sister. She just runs by.
Yeah.
And it's really
it had
creepy.
a great atmosphere. I actually didn't even think of that. That would be
That was,
really good.
I'd forgotten. That was my other one.
That'd
Good
be
job.
awesome.
Yeah. Which technically might be in the works, but
And
don't screw it up, please.
final, I guess I'll mention as a possible. I don't necessarily like the games. I do like the lore to it a little bit. Is God of War.
That would make a pretty good movie.
It would be just it's definitely one of those adrenaline style. Just give me action, break things,
You know, I'm
kill
shocked
some
they
gods.
haven't done that.
With how popular that game is, well, I'd say Metal Gear also, but they've kind of screwed that
That
up.
would just be a those games are a mess.
Yeah.
And they had a phase where they did, what was that, Gods of Egypt and like all
yeah,
this other...
where they were making all these weird.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
That amazingly crap movie.
Troy.
I keep seeing that movie on my options to watch, and I'm like, no, I don't hate myself that much.
It's really that bad.
Really? Did you watch? What was it? The one with Matt Damon, with the wall, the Great Wall.
No.
Yeah. Have y'all watched that yet?
Equally bad things about that. Actually.
I haven't, but it's one of those others where I'm like, do I hate myself this day? Am I feeling masochistic and just out of razor blades? I don't know.
I've heard
Let's
it's
watch
absolute
this.
Garbage, and then I've heard it's
Morbid
garbage,
curiosity.
but you'll enjoy the garbage.
There's nothing wrong
if you
with that.
Detach.
Okay.
And I
See, sometimes movies are just fun.
Yeah.
And you should just watch them because they're fun.
That's the thing. I actually really love bad movies, and we'll talk about that after we get back here. But there are some movies where they're just so bad, it just sucks any joy
painful
from the room. But okay, but that's it. We're done.
Like the vast majority of horror movies for me.
Goodness, that was the longest question we've ever done.
Don't look at me. That way.
I'm going to cut you.
No.
Whoa. Okay. We'll be right back. John's going to get cut. Yeah, I'll be back after this. Have at him, girl.
Hey, Matt, have you seen my copy of Mega Man X?
No.
What is that?
Nothing.
What have I told you about chewing on my game collection?
But it's delicious.
Spit it out now.
No, I have powered pellets.
Give it to me.
No.
Yes.
I don't want it.
Stop eating it.
But it's good.
Games are not for eating.
Retro goodness.
Has this ever happened to you? Tired of having your favorite games chewed on by the strange goblin living in your closet? Or maybe you're just interested in keeping your favorite retro games safe? Then you need a shark protector. And no, I don't mean an overly protective fish. I'm talking about the top-of-the-line clear plastic protectors for games. With reinforced corners and a scratch-resistant finish, a shark protector is just what you need to keep your collection damage and dust-free. So remember, kids, the next time someone gnaws on your games, don't get mad, get a shark protector. Warning, in all likelihood, a shark protector probably won't keep your game safe from being chewed on. So, for best results, don't chew on your games. Have a cookie.
All right, and we are back. Welcome back to Game Overcast. Everyone's still here. John has not been cut. I don't.
Nope. No new cuts.
Thank God.
We came to terms with our disagreement and just went through with still being friends.
Tonight.
We thumb wrestled.
Yeah.
It's like a
That bigger
magical
thumbs.
three-way thumb wrestle here. It's like, yeah!
I'm a unicorn. I always win.
Yeah, that's how things happen.
Until Tim Curry cuts your horn off. But anyways. Ba-dum-bum.
He can because he's Tim Curry.
No, he can't. It's not possible.
Oh, no. He can't do much of anything.
I
feel really bad. I was at a
this
Dallas,
is me respecting someone.
We were at what was the name of the con we were at? It was a Dallas
Fan
Fair.
Expo.
Fan Expo.
Yeah.
And Tim Curry was there, but he wasn't really
There?
able to do anything.
Yeah.
That was a Muppet.
And I felt, man.
It was really
I feel
sad.
so bad. He's like, man, the poor genius, talented man.
I know.
He was
It's a shame to see
doing.
someone with a movie like that. It really is.
Yeah, he was doing photo ops, but he wasn't doing.
He wasn't able to sign autographs.
But he wasn't
yeah.
able. He had to like sign them on his own. So you had to buy stuff that had been pre-signed by him.
He's also he's
because
getting
he was
sick
too.
now, too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean,
shame.
it's
he
a
was
progress.
just too
He's
tired.
pretty old dude, and
He
he's
Just
had some.
turned 71.
He's having some
recovered.
issues.
Like he was actually recovering really well, and then he's kind of unfortunately
It's-
tilting back the other direction. But.
It's just the process
It's a
he's in
shame.
now, and
It's
it does
sad.
suck. But
Okay, depressing.
Anyway.
Let's talk about bad movies. Yee-hoo!
Woo, bad movies.
Okay, so over the past couple weeks, we actually subjected ourselves
Oh my
to
God.
some of these horrible movies.
What?
Some of which we
Some.
didn't actually watch, but some of these we actually sat in and watched here as a group, and oh my God. So we just, this isn't in any particular order, this list. This is just the movies we watched, and I have some bullet point notes, and we can go into more detail about it if you really want to. So the first one on my list here is a classic, up to other things like Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind and Chinatown.
I think this was the first movie I watched by him.
It was the,
And
Oh
went,
no.
what?
It was the first video game one he did. He did
It
a couple
really
other
was?
ones. This is
Okay.
the first, I think, big budget one he did.
Okay, I didn't.
So we'll talk about him. We actually have a section on him down here. So I'm talking about House of the Dead, by the way, poster. So House of the Dead was crap, if you're wondering. There's good movie, and then there's bad movie, and there's fun bad movie, and then there's this way over here.
Like, what just happened? What did I do with the last 2 hours of my life?
Pretty much.
That's gone. I'm never getting that back. Thanks.
It's
And
bad.
the acting is so bad. And for me to say something's bad, I mean, I'm an amateur filmmaker. I want to make short films. I love short films. And I'm always like, oh, but I can see the art in
try to
that.
be gracious.
Or I can see,
You try to
why
see the good
why they try
side.
to- I really do, though.
really-
And I'm easily pleased.
You
If
annoy
it's
me with your
a
positivity,
good
so I
story
know.
Or the intention was good. I'm like, I could see it. Yeah, I actually kind of dig that. No. No. Just stop.
And to be fair, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but there are games where you have a good source material where you can go off of. House of the Dead has a kind of story.
There's not really that much of a story,
It's
though.
like a mad scientist making zombies.
Extremely
and
generic. How did you think that was going to make a movie?
I don't know. Well, I mean, they've made some things kind of okay that we'll talk about. Like you know, we'll get down with some of them. You can make something and it's not absolutely awful. Sorry, Britt, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. But I tried to come to his defense. I was like, you know what? He's trying.
For the record, we're talking about Uwe Boll, by the way, and I had to look that up because I don't know how to say his name. I don't want to say it's not Uwe, and I'm going to insult him because you can't make movies. You're terrible. Thank God you quit.
Just go box people.
Right?
He's a good boxer.
Yeah, just do what you're good at.
That's what he boxed a lot of
Except when you
critics.
suck at something, and then just go do what you're good at. It's okay.
And I thought it was so funny. He challenged Michael Bay to a boxing match, and Eli Roth.
And they were like, who's this? And with Michael Bay saying someone's bad, that's really saying something. Because, my God, that man hasn't made a good movie since The Rock. Anyways.
Good movies have lots of explosions, Matt.
Armageddon was actually pretty good, too. It was good fun.
I liked Armageddon. I thought it was fun. Anyway.
Either way. Yeah.
Pearl Harbor was.
Anyway, I tried to come to
I got to be part of, or not be part of, I hung out with the special effects crew on that.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
sweet.
Yeah.
I like that movie, too.
That was
Anyway,
actually really cool to
I
see things
tried-
explode really close up. I was envious.
That's cool. I tried to come to his defense and say, well, you know what? I think he's trying to make this bad on purpose.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to go for this whole, like, schlock, Evil Dead, and Matt was like, but there are good ways to do that.
But there are really good ways to do that, and then there's
And
what he did.
It actually takes a lot of talent to make a good bad movie, if that makes any
So
sense.
we'll go in as I actually have it on my next page of notes here, and Britt's just ruined that by going
so
into
sorry.
This, but I actually have a
We'll
section
get
on
to it
Uwe
still.
Boll.
That's fine.
But we'll just tie it all in here. So quick notes for House that I have here was my God, the music. You have movies like Mortal Kombat and Blade that have like.
I love electronic music just because it's not the best music. I'll say that right now. It is not. And if that is your favorite music, because it's the best stuff written out there, it's too simplistic. There's not
but
a
it
lot of
depends on
art.
Because there's different
There are
types.
different types.
There's,
Like I
different
like
branches.
fusion stuff where you take electronic and then you put swing in it, and I'm happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can chill to that forever.
It's
but
catchy though.
it's catchy and it's something to listen to. I like the generic noise. I know it sounds weird, but it makes me relax because I'm not really having to think about lyrics or any complexity to it. It's just noise, and that's good.
House of the Dead just kind of threw really bad techno in there all the time, randomly, and that's kind of the whole movie. Is like, who made this? Was this edited by a 5-year-old using his elbows?
Yeah,
because it's just like random shot, and they throw shots from the game in there when they make no sense.
We lost count.
Yeah.
I know it's not that high a number,
almost
but
every scene,
Like
I
9 or
think.
10.
when they were trying to do any type of like, I guess not really segue, but they were going
Transition.
the transition. When they were doing their transition, it was just like random scene.
Zombie being shot, like walking through the forest. Zombie being hit with an axe.
Why?
And I get where he was trying to go with it. I thought it would be clever.
The only
to
one
be
that
like,
made
oh,
sense
hey,
to me
here's a piece of the game.
was when they're
wasn't.
finally in the underground, and it showed the underground part of the game when you're going through a tunnel, but it looked nothing like it. It was a completely different. But so it was just like, oh, we're going through a tunnel
Where
now.
he was like,
Cool.
look, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm terrible at my job, but just imagine. if
So
you
I'm giving you
split.
cue cards. Essentially, this is what I want you to see, and it's not.
And I feel like it's so unfortunate, but I just don't think his vision is translated well.
Yeah.
No, I think it is. I just think his vision sucks. Like his vision is translated well.
I have to agree with Matt on this one.
He has the
It's-
vision of where, like, when I take off my glasses, everything goes away. That's Uwe Boll's vision. It's a blurry disaster of poorly edited, low.
It's like a
rent
watercolor with
overtime.
someone doing that has no talent.
It's just bad.
So I throw the balloon at the wall and it's got paint on it. That's that's art. Okay, let's do it.
Best part of the movie, I have to
Okay.
say, was Captain Kirk, the boat captain. It was cool because it was the guy who was the captain in Das Boots. Maybe they're bros, I don't know, but that was hilarious. I'm like, that guy looks familiar. Let me look that up.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yep.
But the storyline for the movie was actually like a prequel to the game.
Yeah,
where the
we
mad
discovered that
scientist-
kind of at the end. It's like, oh, that's who that guy was. Okay,
It's
cool.
like that could have been interesting if the movie wasn't so garbage.
Yeah.
But so we're just gonna move right along to Alone in the Dark. A movie that I actually paid
Why did we do this
to
to
go see.
ourselves?
This was his first movie that I saw.
Okay.
I went to go see this in theaters.
All right. I don't think I saw this one.
love of God. My first note here is, someone please teach this man how to make a movie.
That's so cold-blooded.
It's so bad.
Or how to accept failure. That's an okay thing.
And be like, no, I'm a genius.
You know, one of the things that bothered me the most about it is like, Christian Slater is actually a good actor.
Yeah.
And it, like, what happened? But what really bothers me is the action. Some of the action sequences, like towards the beginning, he
so
drags
garbage.
some guy over this metal thing. I don't even know what it is.
It's over a bunch of
it's-
rollers.
Yeah, and it's really slow, and it's like, that's not convincing.
Bad action.
That's not
It's like, let me give you an
convincing
example of the
me.
bad action. Punch and react. There you go. That's an Uwe fight scene.
It was yeah.
There's just it's awful.
It was just done weirdly.
The fight scenes with like the random flashing lights and really bad Photoshop bullets. There's a whole fight scene where they were fighting their guns. The guns weren't actually shooting. It was like dead.
We forgot to mention that part of House of the Dead.
Oh, this with the really bad bullet time and
Or the continuity errors we kept picking out.
yes. So there's this fight scene where every character has to have their like low rent. I say low rent because it's bullet time, but it's not.
It's like
a
we
low
spun the
budget version.
camera around this person, and then there was
Yes.
action happening in the background.
And that's bad enough because every character has to have one. And there's such a thing known as battle fatigue in a movie where sometimes it's like Age of Extinction where you just get bored.
Yeah.
Or even Avengers. I got tired with Avengers. It's like, I just don't care. It's all blue screen, whatever. This movie
That drug on and on. And I think I think he was trying to go for like the endless waves of stuff at parts of the game.
he was too
I didn't
too good.
care.
He was too good. I was tired.
I didn't care at that point, but we'd already suffered through most of the other parts of the movie.
But it's a dangerous game to play when you use the same shot over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because
it
people
got
will get tired of
repetitive,
it.
and it was just like,
Yes.
oh, we're doing it again. Oh, we're doing it
Like,
again.
oh, we're
It's like the
spinning around
transitions
this
when he
person.
did the flashes of the game footage, and it was bad. But what got me was, first off, I pointed out marker cones.
Yeah, you could see
In the released video, there were marker cones.
you could see like, go, here's your
This
mark,
is your
tiny
spot. It's a little tiny orange
thing.
cone. Yeah, it was great.
See, and that wouldn't
Or
bother me though if it was a good movie.
if it was
it
good,
wasn't.
but it wasn't. So
But
I
it
started
wasn't.
just
We're gonna
tearing
pick
apart
that
every
crap
little
apart.
stupid thing. Then it was the continuity errors when they would do that little spin around with the characters. They'd be they would have different weapons,
Like you'd have like a shotgun, and then
and then
cut
it was
to the
just
next
like
one.
pistol. Or double pistol,
and then shotgun.
it would go to shotgun, or they would start with the double pistols. It would go to them doing a little spin around. They're now holding the shotgun, and I guess they paused the game and they equipped the
Reload!
shotgun
Reload! Well,
because
they
when it
shot-
came back, it was the shotgun. And it's just like,
See, what happened
No.
was when they were shooting in the 3 thing, like the little 3D spinny thing, they
Yeah.
actually shot the icon because in House of the Dead, if you shoot the icons for guns, you get the guns. It just appears, and we couldn't grasp the fluidity of his dark design.
you'd have been better off putting a little floating box on the screen,
actually be kinda
and
cool.
that would have been funny. I could have laughed at that because the way it was done, it was just like, no,
was awful.
it was bad. So sorry, back to Alone in
So
the
Alone in the
Dark.
Dark. So I'll try to spin through this because this is going to start running along. But the key part of Alone in the Dark that I loved, and once again it comes back to continuity things, were the glow stick rave bullets. So the enemies, they mention a dark world in Alone in the Dark where like, there are like demons and bad things and all kinds of evil stuff. Apparently the only thing that means is one CGI. Like someone was like, hey, I like the way that alien looked from the Alien movies. Let's make that into a cat and make it really ugly.
Okay.
That's what it is. That's the only thing. There's millions of them, and that's all there is. That's just a pet peeve because I like monsters. And I think it was kind of a poor. It's like
We made one,
To
and
make it
that's
look
it.
exactly the same.
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was
Like they
there was
are
no
the Borg,
creativity
pretty
at
much.
that
It's
point.
just-
Yeah,
The
it's-
Borg had more design changes in this thing, but
yeah.
so the only thing that can really hurt, like you can hurt them with bullets, but to really hurt them, you need these glow stick bullets, which they are called, mind you, photonically accelerated luminescent resin is what they're full of here. So glow sticks.
They're glow sticks.
Never mentioned again in the entire damn movie. Pardon my never.
So they say this in the movie
Here's
that
the
They
thing
do.
to actually hurt them. Maybe they were using it. Maybe they weren't. There was no difference in any of the guns anybody used on
like
anything.
Underworld did better with the bullets that hurt vampires.
It was the same thing in that where it's like they kind of mentioned it and you
They
never
mention
saw
it?
those again either.
Yeah, not really.
No, just go on. Like that's great. Why did you mention this? Does he have those bullets? Does he have? They're dying just as fast. Whatever. It's a movie and it's an Uwe Boll movie, so who cares? But so we're just gonna move right along because I'm done, and we'll get back to Uwe here in a minute because he pisses me off. So the next one we watched was, and this one to me was kind of a personal kick in the butt, was Wing Commander.
See, this is where we disagree.
Yeah.
For the fact that you played the game and liked the game.
Yes.
I never played the game and only have seen the movie.
And actually, that's one of my points we'll get to later on, where depending on if you've played these games or read the comics or the books, the experience you get from the movie will be radically different because you go into it with different expectations.
Yeah.
And I've had people tell me, well, just go into it with different expectations. I'm like, no, I played the game. I want this. It's called this. If you want it to be that, call it something else. Sorry, this is a horrible idea. I'm going to rage so bad here. So, Wing Commander, awesome series of games made by a couple of people, mostly by a man named Chris Roberts, who is also working on Star Citizen right now, by the way.
Yes.
Awesome
yes.
game. If it ever gets done, which I don't think it will, but if it does, please, Chris, let me know. I'm playing the alpha.
Don't
right
rush.
now.
Do your thing.
I've given him my money. I've given him a lot of money, actually. Just make the game. So he directed this movie. And this movie, to me, proves one thing. Those who make games cannot necessarily make films.
Okay, but it wasn't a horrible film.
It wasn't horrible,
It
but
wasn't.
it's a lot like another film on this list where, as opposed to being a complete train wreck, it was just a
Adequate.
disappointment.
It was
just-
adequate.
It was meh.
And that, to me, is almost worse than being a train wreck.
And I
That
get
was
that.
my biggest thing about this movie because we were watching it together, and I was like, I'm gonna pick up my 3DS.
Yeah.
So I played a little bit during the movie. Then I put the 3DS down and I started watching. And I was like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
felt
just
like I didn't miss
whatever.
anything.
Well, it's just
and I
generic
still,
space drama.
yeah. And I was
And
kind
we
of
had issues with some of the dumbest things where it's just like, no, there's no cranes in space.
There's a part in the movie where one of the pilots doesn't dodge and gets hit by a ship, so she crashes onto the runway of the space carrier.
Yeah, like
outside the
100 feet
atmosphere.
outside of the door.
And they're like, "What are we gonna do? What are people gonna die?"
Just bulldozer off.
So they bulldoze.
You got the bulldozer. Just pick her up and
bulldozer
bring her
her
in. See if she's
around.
still alive. Nope.
Or a crane, and then at the end of the movie, there's someone with a frickin' tractor beam. The same ship, mind you, that's trying to land can't just tractor her, but just do anything. But no, we're just gonna screw her. She's expendable. This is Warhammer 40K, man. Blood for the blood god. Off you go. That just made me start frothing at the mouth by how dumb it was.
And
But-
see that having stuff that's super realistic doesn't really. I don't have to have that. If it's a good movie, I'm fine.
But it wasn't.
I'll be immersed. But it was just an okay movie.
Yeah.
And see,
If it
I was
was more
taking
like-
it as just a space sci-fi movie.
Dude.
It was okay, but then at that point, it's
Yeah.
like you have all this advanced technology, and that one thing you can't do.
It should have
forced
taken notes from
emotional
The Last
impact.
Starfighter.
Yes.
So good.
For sure.
Such a
And then
good game.
they added this,
Such a good
this
movie.
Yes.
I guess, different.
I love that game.
Not
And
quite
that
different
movie.
species,
Sorry.
but a different race of people called the Pilgrims.
Yeah.
Which apparently, because they were apart from
They're new
humanity for
types.
so long, they're freaking new types, is what they
Yeah,
are.
they're Gundam new
They're,
types.
they're new types with no psychic powers, and they can calculate jump points quickly.
Yeah.
But that was completely exclusive to the movie. There were no pilgrims in the games at all. But there's just different things like that bother me. The actors' choices, while I get, piss me off because Wing Commander has amazing actors like John Rhys Davis and Mark freaking Hamill and Malcolm McDowell and I'm gonna pick pictures because they're worth it. Luke Skywalker and all these great people, and then we replace them with amazing '90s stars like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard.
Because I love me some Freddie Prinze over there.
And then Matthew Lillard, it's great because in every movie he plays, he always had that kind of kind of thing where.
And I tried to defend him.
Hey, you leave him alone.
When we were
He's
watching,
great
I
in
was like,
Scream.
because at the very first scene you have with him, he kind of has a serious role to him. I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to be like Jim Carrey doing a serious role, and it's
10 minutes
beautiful.
later.
But 10 minutes later, I'm like, nope, there he is.
Like how it happened, we could look at each other and go like, nope, there he goes.
Yeah.
Didn't last long.
It didn't last.
Hey, man, work is work.
Every movie, man, it's that. It's Scooby-Doo. It's 13
I hate
Ghosts.
typecasted people. Normally, it gets boring.
And it's not always their fault.
It's not, but when you're in that I just blanked.
stuff in the things.
When you have that career, you do get typecasted a lot, and
Yeah.
it sucks. But when you need the money, you just do it, and I get that. But I would fight really hard to try to prove that I could do something else.
Well, he also went away not long after that, so I don't think he had much of a choice. But
No.
there's people like this is going to sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger is actually a pretty solid actor. If you haven't seen, I forget the name of the movie
love
with
Arnie.
the zombie movie he was in. What's it called?
Maggie?
Maggie.
I have not
Oh
seen
my
that.
God, that movie was great.
And he did that movie for free.
Yeah.
He's got enough
Super
money.
sad movie, but it's there's hardly any action, just him being a dad with his daughter who's been bit and then kind of like going through the whole thing.
Okay.
Very not Arnie kind of stuff, and at first it's jarring to see him just be like this dad and not blow crap up or
Yeah.
intimidate it or anything like that. There are no choppers to get to in the movie, and it's really good. So it's cool to see there is or like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's
Eternal
just
Sunshine for Spotless Mind was beautiful. I
depressing movie.
love that movie though.
It makes me so sad. But so that's that. We're just gonna. Oh yeah, and the worst thing of all, the worst thing of all, no Hobbs. In Wing Commander, there is an alien. I can't remember the name of the name, but the Kilrathi, was that it?
Yeah,
I think it was Kilrathi. We thought it was the Kilgothi at first.
Well,
but it's Kilrathi.
yeah, Kilrathi.
Cat aliens.
The cat aliens,
In the movies,
yeah.
they're really evil rubber Muppets. But Hobbs was this big tiger thing. And of course, it was named after Calvin and Hobbes, which made it amazing. Hobbs is great. No Hobbs. No Hobbs. Freddie Prinze Jr., no Hobbs. No Luke Skywalker.
We gotta trade some things out
No.
here.
Unacceptable, Chris Roberts. You do better with Star Citizen or I kill you. Actually, I think Mark Hamill's going to be in Star Citizen, actually.
Then it's already better.
Yeah! Okay, so we'll move on to the other movie that I found just disappointing, and that was Max Payne.
And see, I wouldn't watch this one.
I actually thought it was pretty decent.
Did you play the game?
No.
Uh-huh.
See, I liked the games. They were actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I loved LA Noire. Man, that game was the bomb. And
Yeah,
I like
probably one of Rockstar's best things they've done.
And I love noir movies,
Yeah.
like LA Confidential, Black Dahlia, and I felt like this took kind of a noir approach, and I really liked that.
The Max Payne games are amazing for two things. They have awesome hard-boiled cop story and amazing John Woo slow-mo Matrix action. This movie had a good bit of the cop story for a while there. And even in my notes here, I'm like, wow, narration's on point, because in the beginning of the game, it's Max Payne like, and then I floated into the bottom of the river, and the dead were waiting to accept me with their loving embrace. I was like, yes! That's Max Payne right there.
right.
Marky Mark on point.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing angels.
But
or Valkyries.
it's because they were hallucinating
hallucinations.
from this drug that they were taking.
And it's one of the cases.
so it's not like they really
Okay.
put those creatures in there.
That's fine, then.
They took the drug from the game, which was Valkyr. And
Okay.
it was just a crazy hallucinated drug, but they made it like a super soldier drug, which also drove people insane. And it was one of those rare cases in the movie where they actually
So
spent
it's
too
like
much time.
Mirakuru from Arrow.
Exactly, actually. But so for half the movie, you're not sure
Cool.
if it's actual angels or just madness,
Okay.
which ends up being just madness towards the end. But I really think they got the cop part pretty right, but the further it went, the less it was good, I think.
Okay.
And then there wasn't nearly enough action. Like
That's
there was
crazy for him to say.
well, because that's the other part. Max Payne needs that John Woo crazy action,
But I
and you
feel
didn't
like
get it.
it still had some action, but I mean,
felt
think
boring.
about all of the noir movies that you've seen. Chinatown, that's one of the greatest noir movies in my opinion. Roman Polanski is a genius, and they all have a slow. LA Confidential is slow. Black Dahlia is slow.
Hold on.
They all have a really slow start and slow progress, and that they're still good. But it's about the story, not necessarily
I'll
and they
watch-
still have action. Not that they're boring.
I'll watch Black Dahlia again. I'll watch Chinatown again and see Jack Nicholson get his nose cut off. If I watch Max Payne, I want. I didn't get that. You got like a little bit of action, but there wasn't like I don't know. Maybe they think they couldn't do it properly. But I was like, just hire John Woo. Just send him in there and be like, here's money. Do this.
But man, compared to House of the Dead, this was gold.
Oh man, this was like high society kind of stuff. But it makes me sad because it's the thing where if you have a movie that has so much potential to be good, which Max Payne had potential to be great, and it was just
I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty decent.
it makes me sad to know that it could have been great and it was just. But that's just me. All right, let's move on to the only good one I can happily talk about here. Here we go. All right.
So
I wish you had seen this
I
with
know
us.
I didn't get to watch this with you guys, but you still have it, so I'm gonna come and watch it.
Yes, I will watch it again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. So this one's all you guys. So you're informing me and the listeners.
Corpse Party.
Corpse Party.
When we were making notes for this movie, we were like, wouldn't it be cool? Because I was talking about asking the question, would it be cool if they made like a Fatal Frame or a Corpse Party movie? They did! And
Yeah.
we actually found the Corpse Party one because it was released here in this country. So we got a hold of it, we got like Amazon Prime that crap.
Yeah.
And watched it, and it's great because it's I have on here it's based on the horror game whatever, which I'll have you actually have on here. Brittany, explain the story now. Japanese horror film based on Japanese horror game, and that means good. I mean, it's what you expect from Asian horror. You have like really kind of cheesy, but super hyper violent. Lots of good scares. It mirrors the story
Fantastic.
almost like beat for
All right.
beat.
So
Yes.
story aside, I'm looking for style, like Juon, Rungu, Is it anything along that kind of creepy, or do they keep it kind of feeling like, yes, this was a video game?
Haunted house?
You can definitely tell it's a haunted school.
Haunted school, yeah.
You can definitely tell it's Japanese. I mean,
Okay.
I really feel like
Low budget.
everything they do
That's fine.
has.
Yeah.
They just do horror so well.
I think
They
it's
have their
far more
own-
psychological, and that build up.
They have their own spin to things, and then also it's very hyper violent, like a lot of their
gory,
movies.
Dude, oh my god. Parts
Tokyo Ghoul
flying
Police.
everywhere. They're making a live action Tokyo Ghoul, actually.
Oh, are they?
Yes,
I
remember-
said Tokyo Gore Police.
Oh, there's a
but-
gore. Sorry, they're making a live action Tokyo Ghoul, but they're having to
cool.
recast because the lead actress left to join a cult.
Oh no.
Cool.
No, really.
Oh jeez.
She's. I thought it was.
Don't-
I forgot. It's like the Church of Happy Life or something like
Oh,
that.
no.
It wasn't that exactly. But
That
it's
is
happy something.
definitely a cult.
Yes, it is.
I don't
Was it-
trust happy men
She
or
quit
women.
the movie to do that, so they're having to recast the the lead female roles because of that.
think
But
there's a-
anyways, yeah, Tokyo Gore Police.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Don't get me started on cults. Okay.
Oh, good lord. Different podcast, kids. Welcome to Cult Overcast.
Right.
Welcome to Kool-Aid Cast. This is episode
talk
1.
about our
and
messed
that's
up
the
past.
only episode.
Okay. Anyway. But yes, it was so
Did Brittany just say
good.
she's in a cult? Sorry, proceed anyways. Hi.
Brittany is not in a cult.
Moving on.
The Cult of Xeon.
Oh no. Okay. It was so good. I loved everything about it. I loved
Okay.
the story. It was, if you,
Cheesy Japanese.
Did they follow the
but
game story, or did they make
followed
your
the
own
game
thing?
pretty well. I mean, there were a few.
Okay.
Right.
Like, but yeah, for the most part, it was pretty cut and dry. Pretty much the game.
Okay.
The story is really cool. Do you know the story for Corpse Party?
No, not at all, because I was going to go ahead and play the games after
Just
you've been
brief
telling me.
rundown with the doll, because the doll thing's cool, or the paper doll.
Yeah, so I'll just real fast. I know we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So the premise of the whole thing is this girl, she's kind of an occult fanatic, and she, right, me.
Sorry about Brittany.
And she, there's this school festival, and she gets her friends together because one of them is moving away, and she decides, hey, there's this really cool ritual that I want to try with you guys. Let's just do it, and we'll be friends forever. And
Really quick.
We'll bind our souls in this contract.
How many horror movies start like, hey, there's this fun ritual I want to try?
I mean, that sounds fun, right?
Let's do it.
I do it.
I don't believe in any of it, so I don't care.
But anyway, so the ritual is they get this paper doll, and they all chant, this phrase.
Google gobble, one of us, one of us.
Pretty much.
Based on how many people are in the room. And then they pull the doll apart, and they each keep that scrap of paper.
For a moment, I was like, and they eat it.
And they devour the weakest one in their group of friends.
And as long as they have that piece of paper, then they're together forever. Like,
Okay.
they're friends forever.
I would so lose that piece of paper.
Right?
It's like, what is
I
this?
probably
Oh,
would
it's a
too.
leg.
So
Anyway, so the
right-
ritual goes wrong.
Okay.
And they get sucked in. Turns out it was a trap.
the
How do you screw up tearing up a paper doll?
It doesn't actually explain in the movie. It just
I don't
says,
want to spoil it for
Okay.
you.
Just, yeah, it explains. But at
Okay.
the floor literally falls out, and they fall all into the floor.
Cool.
And they wind up in this haunted school where there are
Magical portal to hell? Check.
Hang on to your doll, kids. It's gonna be a bumpy night. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
But it's surprisingly really good. I love the practical effects. I love the way they brought there was only one Phantom, but I really like the way he looked. I like the makeup.
Okay.
Well, there was other phantoms.
No, there was
The
only
kids
one.
count as phantoms, don't they?
Oh, yeah, I guess they.
Were they like passive?
Evil. No.
Okay.
Oh God.
We'll see
no.
then it was just,
Grab
yeah.
you by the ankles. Yeah, no.
Okay.
They were provoked, but okay.
They are
so
provoked into murdering the crap out of somebody.
Don't poke the ghost.
exactly.
Nope.
But I really liked
you
it.
back.
The makeup was really good. If you have a weak stomach, don't eat.
There's creepy crawlies.
Cool.
And then it looks.
It's
not
cheesy,
that it looks
but
real.
it's...
Not that it looks super cheesy, but it is almost so cheesy that it looks real.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
almost
Yeah.
Uncanny
Like
Valley
the-
cheesy, where there's like piles of stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
the guts and the
Yeah.
blood, and there's so much of it
Tomato sauce.
that it
kids.
almost looks
It's all
real.
tomato
You know what I mean?
sauce.
So pantyhose and cotton. That's fine. Whatever.
So if you have a weak stomach, I would recommend like kind of you'll have to turn away a few times or be like, ooh.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's
Darn good movie though.
It
Worth
was
watching.
really good.
Happy to say there's a movie on this list I really liked.
yeah, it was
All
really
right.
good.
I mean, if you like Asian horror stuff, like
Definitely.
Wishing Stairs,
Oh, I love
or
Wishing Stairs.
anything like that, it's in that ilk where it's just like super gory, kind of not really scary, but it's kind of like ooh, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Awesome ending. Needs to have a part 2. Might have a part 2. Fact check. If there's a part 2, it'll show up right there. If not,
There is.
it'll be like a
There
robot.
is. It just hasn't. I don't think it's been released
Robot. Cool.
yet.
I want a robot on screen regardless. Through the magic of editing, there will be a Gundam. So that is the only one that we actually took notes on.
Okay.
Really quick, we need to go through. I have on here the Uwe Boll void of crappy movies. Because he's done more. Some poor fool gave this man more rights. So he's done other stuff, like he's done a series of Blood Rain movies, which are all just trash. We'll talk about this really quick.
Yeah, I guess.
Garbage. Like, Blood Rain is a pretty
I
cool game.
really liked Blood Rain the game.
Yeah.
Me
Like,
too.
It was.
It's a great game.
It's over the top, stupid. Let's kill
Blood Rain
Nazis
2.
as a vampire. That's great. Cool.
Where are the Nazis in the first movie? Where are the Nazis at all?
I don't know. I don't know what the second movie was trying.
You know what's funny? Him and I. This was about a decade ago, I think. I was like, man, I really love the Blood Rain games. Let's rent this movie. Oh God, showing our age right there. So we rented the movie.
Let's get it on
and
videotape.
Right. And we watched 5 minutes of it, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I've actually watched the whole movie. I got here really early one time back when I was actually running this store.
Oh yeah, I
So-
see you have it up there.
Yeah, we
it's
have it up there.
That's the one I watched too. 'Cause nobody wants it.
Please come buy them. I don't want them here anymore.
I actually sat downstairs and watched Blood Rain before the store opened one day because I was here super early.
Yeah.
To do. And oh God, there was nothing could save that movie.
If we ever do like movie showings of video game movies here, definitely not one I can show here.
Because it's definitely rated R.
But it's just so bad. Even if I could show it, I wouldn't. I don't hate any of you that much.
But so there's that.
Yeah.
He made a movie for Postal, which is already a pretty awful game. But
Postal is great just because it is that over the top, and it tells you essentially it's over the top just by looking at what it is, and it's not trying to be anything more than that. And you screwed that up.
Well, I was telling Britt that what I thought was cool about the Postal game is you could not do anything bad. If you could just go to the store, go to work,
Yeah.
get Gary Coldman's autograph, and go home.
Yeah.
Or you could be a complete disaster. I actually sat through this movie alone because no one else would watch it with me.
I was like, I'm done.
It's
I have a
so-
physical copy of this game still.
the games. The game for all of its badness is still kind of funny.
Yeah.
The movie takes it all out the window. I have never seen someone try so hard to be offensive, which usually I think offensive humor is kind of funny. If
There's a
it's done
point where
right,
I'm like, that's just obscene.
It
It's
has to be
boring.
done
it's just like,
correctly.
man, this is just awful.
Well, see, I don't like gore movies normally because it's boring to me. There's nothing imaginative about it. All you're trying to do is make me feel squeamish. I don't feel squeamish. I don't see any point to it.
There's stuff like Brain Dead though, which is funny.
Where it's
I love
yeah,
Brain Dead.
that actually makes me laugh. So
Yeah.
that's different though.
This
That
failed to do
And
that.
Peter Jackson is actually a good director.
that's like
Well, I don't know about The Hobbit, but everything else.
Hobbit
yeah.
was fine. Hobbit was fine. His best movies are his early movies though.
If The Hobbit wasn't 3 movies long and didn't have
I'll give you that.
different podcasts,
I will completely, but either way, by far one of my favorite directors, just because it's so.
He's really
his
good.
original stuff was so goofy.
he's done much more good than bad. Frighters,
Yeah.
dude. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Postal, Far Cry, haven't seen it, won't see it. You can't torture me that much, don't care. In the Name of the King, which was
I saw this.
what game was this again?
Oh,
a game?
crud.
no.
Dungeon
I didn't-
Siege.
Dungeon Siege. There you go.
I didn't
yes.
even know that one was a game.
That was yeah.
PC
My
game,
bad.
wasn't it?
I only knew, PC game for the most part. I think there's there's Dungeon Siege on the 360, Dungeon Siege 3 or whatever. The games, I love RPGs and I like that kind of dungeon crawling game. They're not that great
like
in my
Baldur's Gate
opinion.
then.
Yeah,
Okay.
like that, but those were better. Actually, that
Champions
could have
of
been a
Norrath.
cool. Yeah, Champions of Norrath would actually be better movies,
Such
I
a great
think.
game.
But yeah, Dungeon Siege was just kind of boring. I was like, yeah, there's some decent action and you have some okay actors in it, but at the same time, I could have done without it. I didn't care.
So just blah.
Yeah.
Typical stuff then. What I have written. I'm not a nice person when it comes to this guy. So what is wrong with this man? So actually, me and
I'm
Britt did a
assuming
little
brain damage.
bit, no, well, he's a boxer, so I mean, you never know.
Possible.
We did a little bit of homework here, and what he's attempting to do is he's deliberately trying to make these movies bad.
This is what I thought. This was my idea.
So you actually believe that before researching this? So
This was my opinion. I was like, I think he's trying to make a schlock movie. I think he's
Okay.
trying to make he's trying to pull a Lloyd Kaufman, a Sam Raimi.
Okay.
You know, I think he's trying.
So yes,
to do,
it's bad, but I'm gonna enjoy myself
Yes.
because it's bad.
But what's
but it's
crazy,
still well done.
Exactly. But what's crazy is that it actually takes a lot of talent to make a movie
you
like
have to
that.
be good
Yeah.
to
You
make a
have
bad
to be
movie
really
that's fun.
talented
Yeah.
to make a good bad movie, i.e.,
Was it like
Evil Dead or
Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Exactly.
Hobo with a
I love
Shotgun.
it.
Hobo
Yes.
with the Shotgun
If
was
you-
great.
if no one-
The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra.
Yeah, stuff like that, or like Cabin Fever. Eli Roth
Yeah,
stuff.
love Cabin
those
Fever.
are
That's
awesome
great.
because they're funny and they're actually shot well.
Yes.
With decent camera angles. You're never gonna watch this, but I have a hope that you might. So it's just like,
By the way, we signed the petition for you to never make movies again.
thank God for quitting. I hope you do play golf for the rest of your life and stop making
Please,
movies.
yeah. If that'll make you happy and not torture us anymore, do it.
It's like please. But so if you're allowed to watch R-rated movies, watch Hobo with a Shotgun. It's hilarious.
great one.
Yeah, not video game. I know we're going off
Yeah.
subject, but I love that movie.
Great. If you hate Uwe Boll movies and want to know what he's trying to make, that's what he was trying
Yeah.
to make. All right, so let's just not talk about him anymore ever again.
Okay.
So I have a list of other game movies that we didn't get around to watching.
Or we've already watched
Or-
too many
exactly.
times, and most of you have
So
probably
we can just
watched them
talk
too.
about 'em. So that shouldn't be a problem. And yes, I'm not listening to them all. I know we're going to miss some. If you, but not you. No, not you. If
You smell
any of
weird.
you have work at a garlic factory. I think it smells great. If you have any video game movies that you want to talk about, or any stories you want to share about how you got to go watch House of the Dead and threw up because it was so bad,
And tell us if you don't agree. That's fine.
by all means, yes. If you think Postal was the greatest artistic piece of work out there, one, I'm going to be kind of concerned for you. But also,
Yeah.
please let us know. Let us know at podcast at gameovervideogames.com. That is what, Brittany?
Podcast at gameovervideogames.com.
.com.
And if Alone in the Dark was your favorite movie,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You need to
I'm not sorry. You need
see
help.
2 movies then. But
It's too easy to get medication.
only
Go do
movie
it.
You've seen. So I just have a list here. We'll just go through real quick.
Yeah, just real quick.
This is
Our honorable
chronological.
mentions.
Yeah. Well, these are all like good. Like Super Mario, 1993, the first
Terrible but
American video
great.
I really
Yeah,
liked
Awesome
it.
movie,
It was
yeah.
fun.
It was fun.
That's a fun terrible.
I'll give you that. Like
Uwe.
the movie has nothing to do with.
No, and that's a case where they had
game.
something with pretty much no story at all.
Yeah, and they just went with it. Now, I've heard multiple times that they had a completely different script to start with, and it just kept evolving as they were going. So it probably worked its way into being that bad, but I still enjoyed it.
It was.
I did not like the wind-up Babam. That's my only complaint.
Bomb was awesome.
I'd have rather have a dwarf and a costume. Hopefully that doesn't offend anyone, but I think that would have been brilliant.
Well, they're gonna hire Wicket from freaking
What? Yeah.
Planet of the Ewoks. This
Yeah.
gigantic bomb.
They were huge. They're at least half the size of Mario. Why not?
That's true. But it actually had a lot of good actors. It had, I can't remember. Wow, John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can't forget his name, and I hate myself for Eddie Valiant.
Yes.
What was his name?
I can't remember
Oh
his
my
name.
God, I love this actor. He's actually good in everything that else is bad. Like he's awesome.
You named him from Roger Rabbit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Khrushchev in Enemy of the Gates.
crud.
He was Odin in that really really bad Mask sequel.
Either way, well, yeah.
But awesome.
We liked
awesome
it.
guy.
We all liked
so
that
movie was
one.
good.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like Mario or the movie, you have a problem.
Pretty much. You have Double Dragon, which came out in '94. Another
I
game
had such
I
a
really
hard
liked
time with
this
this. We
one.
watched this and I had a hard time.
with no substance. I mean, it's a game where a guy's girlfriend gets stolen. What do we do? And
Yeah.
and they ran with
And
it.
they did what they could with it, but I don't like the product placement inside the movie at the end, where they're fighting in this like hangout for kids essentially, and there's an arcade, and all of the arcades are spray painted in some way except the Double
I
Dragon
thought that
one.
was hilarious.
I thought that
And I
was
was just
really
like,
funny.
that was it was a bit corny
That
to
was less
me.
product placement and more. They probably couldn't get the licenses to have those games on there.
Okay.
So I'll take that because I was like, hey, look, they're playing themselves. But hey, playing themselves.
I thought it was really cute. It was really fun. I felt like
The
it was
entire movie was still fun
kind
though.
of that fun '90s. It reminded
Yeah.
me of being a kid. That fun
I
90s.
actually have a note for it where it's like the T1000 is a bleach blonde post-earthquake LA crime
Was that the
lord, sure.
1000?
Yeah, that was Robert Patrick. That was T1000.
Was that the okay? So Liquid Metal was
Liquid
over there
Metal,
going. Yeah,
Who
that
turned
was
into
right.
as opposed to Liquid Metal, he was a Shadow Man.
Yeah.
Still better than the cartoon.
Yes. Still.
And same year.
I have to say I hate this movie.
No.
I hate it.
Street Fighter, 1994.
I
man.
love Street Fighter.
I hate that movie.
It's so fun, and Raul Julia.
I
is the
get why
bomb.
people like it, and I'm cool with it, but I got spoiled on the animes.
Yeah, that's
because they were so
they were
good.
pretty good.
Even the not so great ones were better than this movie.
really, really
and then
bad
I saw
ones.
that and I was like, oh no.
I thought it was just because I have just little quick footnotes where I have Raul Julia plays Gomez Adams in a red jumpsuit.
Except more evil. Because
Except slightly more evil.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Gomez Adams is pretty evil. If you think about it.
No, he's
Wait,
not.
no, he's not. He is not.
We agree.
I think that whole family's insane. And they're
Yeah.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you're evil.
Thank you, John. Another one.
solidarity.
When is the last time you've seen Street Fighter? Street Fighter.
Last
Street
year,
Fighter.
I watched through it again because I watched it and then I watched Mortal Kombat.
Okay, Mortal Kombat. It's another great one.
Yeah.
So we were watching it, and I never noticed. You know that scene when Chun-Li becomes Chun-Li?
Where she buns up.
Where exactly. She
turns
buns up.
on.
And he's talking to her, and he's like trying to seduce her. In the background,
Oh, no.
there is a painting of Bison as Pogo the Clown. I am dead serious.
What's his face? What's his name? The actual crazy serial killer guy's name.
John Wayne Gacy.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, it's just like this bison
And
cat
it's-
clown in the corner.
Yes, and it's Bison done in the likeness of Mr. Julia as Pogo. It's super weird. I was like, why
Okay.
did
Like,
they
That's a
put
lot
that
of
in there?
attention to detail
Yes.
right there.
Whatever.
I
Okay.
thought that was pretty funny.
Still doesn't save it for me. And
Still better than the not sequel, but the other Street Fighter movie down on this list. Significantly.
all right,
better.
I'll give you that.
We'll talk about it.
I actually like that one a little bit more than.
Before you talk about it.
But yeah, okay.
Next one, 95, Mortal Kombat. Christopher Lambert is rating that alone makes this movie amazing.
I disagree. Again,
Hey,
really
he
like
was
it.
awesome. Okay, I
no,
think so.
no, he was not. No,
You're so good.
I can't like him. I don't know why.
I thought that one was
I
another
think
one that
it's
was fun.
ever since Highlander. I was just like, wait, they screwed this up.
Hey,
too much.
Highlander was good too, just because they got the accents completely wrong. That's
Yeah,
okay.
let's we'll make the Scottish man a Spanish guy and the what is he Norwegian?
Norwegian, I think. and
We'll
he's supposed
make
to be
him Scottish. You could have flipped that, and it would have been completely okay in my brain.
I think
And I'll take, like clay animation Goro versus like CG anything.
He was a puppet.
He was a puppet?
He was mostly a puppet.
I thought he was claymation.
There were stop motion scenes.
I think there was a guy in there, but it was just a giant puppet setting on him.
Stan Winston, baby.
Yeah, it was. Can you
I could've
imagine carrying that
sworn-
around?
Some of the far out scenes, he was stop motion.
Claymation? Oh, okay.
It was more or less the same thing, but yeah, stop
It was
motion.
like I could have sworn it was that, but I would take that any day over like CG.
Like Reptile was in the movie with like really bad CG, but
yeah.
I think Christopher Lambert, he's just like the poster child for really bad 90s movies because he was in that. He was
so
in
great.
Highlander.
I still like this movie to a point, but it's just so bad.
It's one of those good bad. Did you ever see
Good bad.
Beowulf?
Yeah.
The really bad, like post-apocalyptic
Yes.
Beowulf. Yeah, same thing. But anyways, back on this. Directed by Christopher.
Back when I worked at Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video. I can't take off a hat. But Christopher Anderson, same guy who directed Event Horizon, which is awesome, and Soldier with Kurt Russell, which is awesome, and then nothing else that was good until this other movie, which actually he did another video game movie, which we'll talk about further down on the list.
Okay.
So stay tuned. But I thought it was good. Worth noting also was, have either one of you, probably not because you're a little bit younger than us, seen Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins?
I haven't.
This
Is
is
that
one of those.
the animated?
It's
no.
an animated.
Yeah.
It's not the cartoon. Well, it's a cartoon, but it's a special direct to VHS exclusive that came out a couple months before the movie came out.
I never actually saw it though.
One of the worst hunks of junk in the universe.
And if you are too young to know what a VHS is, picture.
No, I'm not.
was that, Brittany?
No.
Picture.
There, okay, cool. But yeah, so I remember going to a Blockbuster video and renting this and being super stoked about it.
Rip Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, little 9-year-old Matt wanting to watch this, or maybe 10, depending on when this came out. But just the animation was horrible. Like the fight scenes were just repeats of like Johnny Cage backing up, like weird, like with Gumby legs, and like it was like a 2-minute fight scene with like 10 seconds of recycled animation.
Okay.
And really bad, like 90s guitar music, but so was horrible.
Beautiful.
So from that horrible, let's move on to the next horrible of Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
They should have stopped
So
at the
bad I
first.
didn't even put a date.
All right, so this is an example of what they did with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, where as they progressed, they got worse.
You're talking about the old ones, I'm assuming, because the new ones are all bad.
No, the new one. Well, I'm gonna defend the new ones to the point where if you knew nothing about turtles, they're fine.
I like the
That's a
old
point we keep
turtles.
coming back to. Is like if you don't like the subject
new.
matter, if you're not a fan of the existing subject matter,
but-
you're fine.
We grew up with the cartoon and them making toys and then them having to make the cartoon for the toys that were made, like Transformers.
Yeah.
We were in that generation where they made toys and they were like, how do we make this character fit into the story? Is he a good guy or a bad guy?
What color
All
is
right.
he? Is he a jet?
So Turtles was very similar to that, or it was that. So I don't see how they went from this really great first movie that actually had some very deep emotional moments. Like, I get the money part, Matt, but how do you make a costume get worse?
Money. The old costumes were destroyed.
Remake them.
They didn't want to hire Jim Henson for the third one. That's why, specifically in 3, the costumes are so bad. The first 2 were Jim Henson creations. The third one was not.
Okay.
That's why in 3 the mouths don't move that much.
Well, you're stupid.
Yes, they're really
You're just stupid.
Yes. So, yeah, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, a movie so bad that Christopher Lambert didn't think it was good enough to be in. That really says something.
Yeah.
But it was just bad. Like, horrible CGI. A case of which a lot of other things have had were just way too many characters that are in the movie for, like, in some cases, less than a minute. And then they're gone for the rest of the
It
movie.
was just like, well, they're in the game. We need to put them in real quick.
Hey, look, Nightwolf. Oh, hey, look, Sub-Zero. And hey, look, I think that's Scorpion. Bye. Quick animality, go. Hee. Whatever, moving on. But just bad. Bad. Moving on. 2001, Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
I've never seen any of the Tomb Raider movies.
Not
I liked the first one.
I like
it was okay.
Reloader. The little clam show with the clips where you're like,
Yeah.
that was fun.
It was okay. I still have a whole lot of like figures for this
They're over
movie.
there.
No, personally at home.
Oh.
Like in a box, not opened.
Wow.
I don't know why I bought them. I have like one of the magazines that was advertising it.
Yeah.
I don't even like Tomb Raider. The games annoyed me. Camera angles at the beginning were terrible.
Ooh, I like the games. I have fond memories of playing the games with my
Okay.
brother. So
For what it was a really,
I
really
like 'em.
good 3D adventure game for when it came out. It hasn't aged well
No.
at all. But so the movie, the only thing I remember, I don't actually remember much of the movie except for her trying to turn a knife around when it's frozen in time, which I thought was just hilarious. But anyways,
Like that.
the only reason I went to go see the movie in theaters, and I'm going to go ahead and try to describe this while being family friendly. My friends, it's 2001. We were freshmen in high school. Okay, so I mean,
And there's a shower scene.
yes. So we went to go see it for that. I personally didn't really care, and none of you are going to believe that, and that's fine. But I was
Yabos.
like, I don't think What's-her-face is a very pretty lady. But that's-
Angelina Jolie.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't Hackers.
The best
liked
movie ever.
Hey, I liked
next
Hackers.
to only Johnny Mnemonic. Johnny Mnemonic. Hackers. Cool. Anyways.
hey, Kiana's the best.
Yep.
But so that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Really quick, Final Fantasy Spirits Within. You already talked about it, John.
I really like Spirits Within because
too.
I'm not comparing it to anything. I understood that every Final Fantasy is different. So why are you saying, oh, well, it's not like this one or it's too
Sephiroth.
much like this one? I didn't need the story. I went into it knowing, okay, this has nothing to do with any of the games. They just used the title like they do with all the games.
Yeah.
And they just made
thought
something
it
that was
worked quite
interesting.
well.
It was
Yeah.
fine. There was nothing wrong with it.
I like it.
It
And
felt
there's
it felt a little rushed, but I think that's time frame.
I like the music. There's a song at the end.
Yeah.
That's
The
really
Dream
There
Team
normally
song.
is.
Yes.
Very lovely.
I really like it. What?
It's.
I didn't even hear you.
It usually goes through things called the credits. It's like this silent credit scene. We're gonna be different. You do it, Uwe Ball. You be different.
Yeah. Actually, don't make movies. That'd be great. Continue. Sorry.
Assaults never end.
I know.
Okay, so moving along.
Poor Uwe, he's gonna hear this and he's gonna challenge.
He's gonna
us
challenge me to a boxing match.
Bring it on, buddy.
I'm gonna hit him
Because
with
I
a
will
shark.
fight dirty.
So, 2002, Resident Evil. Chris Anderson again.
I loved the first movie.
It was good. It unfortunately took away all of the scary, but
Yeah.
it was a good horror action movie.
I didn't even feel it was horror, but it was a fun.
I mean, monsters.
It was a fun monster movie, and I didn't see anything wrong with it really. But the end.
They should have stopped making them. Yeah. But the first one was really
I
good.
didn't even mind the end. It was just this. I immediately went to go see the sequel when it came out, and it was just trash.
Yeah.
Horrible, and it just worse. And they're still
that
making
rubbery.
Nemesis. Yeah.
That rubbery nemesis that made me so sad. that they've skipped all the tyrant progression and went straight to Nemesis. I was like,
Yes.
oh.
Yeah,
Because there were multiple tyrants.
You had the liquor, and the liquor kind of turned into something else, kind of.
Yeah.
And that was the liquor was the tyrant, apparently. But
No.
I mean, overall, the first movie I thought was great. You know, decent music, fun story. The single best commentary track. I'm one of those losers who listens to commentary on movies sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
it's like play in the background. Best commentary track on any movie ever, because the entire commentary was Mila Jovovich and my God, with names I'm not good. Fast and the Furious, Avatar.
Oh,
Hispanic
man.
lady, Michelle Rodriguez.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Michelle Rodriguez, that's right.
Pretty much talking with the director about how they spent most of the movie inebriated, and he was just like, "We need to act." And they're like, "Sure." So that explains a lot about the movie, but great commentary track.
All right.
Now moving along, 2005. I don't have any notes for this. Doom.
The Rock, done.
I liked this movie.
What's his face from Lord of the Rings? Rohan.
I liked this movie up until the first person. I was like, and you went too campy for me. But I think they could have done far better. There was a lot of stuff they could have pulled from in Doom.
Blew my mind. The guy who made this, I didn't type it in there because I couldn't pronounce his name.
Okay.
But he's made he did one of the Lethal Weapon movies, and he did some of the Romeo Must Die, that really cool Jet Li movie and stuff. Like, he's made some good stuff.
I like that one.
I'm not quite sure what went wrong here. Maybe it's just the.
I still don't think it's a
film.
bad movie.
It's definitely much better than
It's
other
just-
things on the list.
Yeah.
But
I've only watched it once, though, to be fair, because there are those movies where I'm like, that's not bad, but I don't need it again.
moving along, I
Yeah.
watched it once or twice, and it's I give it maybe a solid 5 or 6,
Okay.
as opposed to
I mean,
like.
half the time I go to the movies now, it's like, do I want my time back? Nah, I'm okay with wasting it there.
I'll let you go on into the next one here, Brittany.
All right.
Yay!
Shuddering with
So
anticipation here.
I just wanted to say,
Hold on, Silent Hill.
I just wanted to say, one does not simply walk into Silent Hill.
Yeah, you do.
One crashes.
Yeah,
the
you just don't necessarily get out, you know?
usually at high velocities.
I think this is an example of one of those games that you can't properly make a movie for. And I was extremely excited about it. And the reason I say that is it's really hard to explain what each monster is. And every monster in the games has some type of thing that it represents.
meaning,
It has very solid meaning. And
I
they
would
kind of
like
just
to
went
see
like,
them- They were
just
people
there.
like this one, people like
Yep.
this one,
Yeah.
let's put them in.
You know what?
You know, I would like to see them redo it. Because I think that they
Not the
could.
crappy sequel, which I refuse to watch.
I
That
think
was
they
so
could.
bad.
Someone out there can use the symbolism. I
Yeah.
mean, look at the symbolism behind the Babadook.
Yeah.
Somebody can use symbolism and make that movie work.
You're right.
I can
and
give
really
you that.
do that movie justice.
Because you don't need it explained, you just need to be able to feel it.
Yes.
And I did with
Something-
Babadook.
And not just be
Yeah.
randomly.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
I really liked this movie when we first saw it.
Yeah, I
a
was the
decade ago.
same.
It hasn't aged so
And then
well.
we saw it again, and I was like, ooh,
Why does that cop have leather pants?
that
leather.
Ew!
No-
That bothered
No
me.
cop is going to do that.
And they were like faux leather.
And
Yeah.
the hair that the
You're not.
bleach-
You're
She
gonna
looked like a
sweat in that.
Can I say that?
What?
I can't say that.
What did you say she looked
A
like?
dancer.
I was gonna
Oh,
a
there you
dancer
go.
cop. Exactly. She did not look like a real cop.
You are just
and if
trouble
you
tonight.
are a real cop and you wear leather pants, I'm sorry.
Don't pull
But
us
I've
over.
never seen you.
Yeah, go ahead. Pull me over. I got
So.
some things to say. It'll be
nice,
fun.
nice pants. Do you see? Silent Evil.
Silent Evil.
Resident Evil was one of those movies where I actually hadn't played the games yet. And
Okay.
I watched the movie first, and I watched the movie like, wow, this has some really cool designs. Let me go back through and play.
And then you see why
Yes.
I have problems with the characters.
Random Pyramid Head, everything
Like
else.
Pyramid Head, still by far my favorite enemy. Not in the movies because I didn't care. He was just this big monster. Who?
There are
So what?
pieces of the movie that are done really well, though.
Yeah.
Like the scene with the nurses.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Those-
The nurses, though, are one of those things that are always there.
Yeah.
Because most of these people have been hospitalized
Yeah, exactly.
that are creating this world.
And
so
I think
I
you
get
could
that.
tell the nurses were real, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
the nurses
Yes.
were real. They
The
had a
nurses
bunch
were
of
real. They
dancers.
had, it was all professional dancers.
And that looked cool.
There was very little CG in that
kinda
with,
like make them a
with
little
the
bit more
twitching,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that was like changing the video speeds and
Yes,
stuff.
exactly.
and that looked really good.
And that was,
Yeah, the
very
movements
well
were
done.
Pretty much all legit, and it looked really creepy because it was real. It
Yeah.
wasn't, the rest of the movie kind of faltered because it was
It's-
bad CGI.
It's like when they now do CGI to do face swapping stuff. and how they used to do it, where they would have to like essentially put an actor's head in a paint shaker, which isn't a joke, and it would shake them back and forth, and you would get that kind of creepy like look to them. They don't do that now because you're putting someone's head in a freaking paint shaker.
You
But
suffer for your art, darn it.
yeah, it's that difference where they filmed it with real people instead of using the CGI that I think really made it.
It was real point.
Something really positive about Silent Hill that every video game movie should borrow from this is that they used the real soundtrack.
Yeah, the
Yes.
actual
They
game
used
soundtrack.
They use
soundtrack.
the game
Those
soundtrack.
soundtracks are phenomenal. Whatever. If I'm painting, if just sketching,
I
cleaning,
play
whatever,
them here
I listen to them.
sometimes.
So
They're
good.
so
And it'll be in
good.
some of the like creepy, like just ambient sounds of like the machinery and chains creaking and people walk in occasionally and they'll look at me and I'm like, I'll change it. I'll
they
put
picked
something
the
happier.
best songs from 3
Yeah, lots
Yeah.
of
and
three, a
use
little bit
them.
from 2.
And so
awesome
good.
movie. Okay, well, awesome soundtrack.
Yeah.
Movie,
Awesome soundtrack. The movie was meh.
decent movie, but
It was okay.
I know what you were trying with the movie. It's one of those few times where I'm like, I didn't really like the movie the later times that I went through it, but I knew what you were still going for. So I kind of respect that.
and for a video game movie, it wasn't bad. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good because
Let's just move on in the line here. So we have Street Fighter Legend Chun-Li as a piece of crap. Moving on.
Yeah.
After that, we have
it's not worth it. It's just junk.
First of all, you spelled Chun-Li wrong.
Well, the movie was crap. Why waste the time?
sorry.
At least I didn't pronounce it Chung-Li like I did when I was a kid. I thought her name was always Chung-Li. I didn't know.
I'm messing with
I
you.
was a stupid kid. I'm a stupid adult. I've gotten a little bit better, but geez.
I'm just teasing you. I mean, you did, but I'm just teasing you. I thought that movie wasn't half bad. Moving on.
I was gonna edit it just like robots, just in case, like save me.
Just the year
I thought it was
2005.
okay.
The valiant Autobots are gonna be really crappy Michael Bay characters.
I was so excited. First comic book convention I ever went to had Peter Cullen, and I think it was I think that was the first Comic Palooza, that they did, and it was okay. I had never been to a convention before, so I'm like, yeah, that's cool enough. But I went solely to just listen to him talk
Beautiful voice.
and like watch half the crowd get confused that he's Eeyore.
Yeah, that's so awesome. No, it's just like any like 90s 2000s cartoon, whatever. And if you hear like a dog or some other kind of like animal, like kind of like a sound, that's
Frank
Megatron.
Welker.
That's
Yeah.
Frank Welker. It's weird, like crazy. Like remember the Chipmunks animated adventure?
No.
Okay, well you know it existed.
Yes.
Okay, so there was
but
the bad guys,
Getting
the villains
old.
had a dog in that movie, and that dog, that was Megatron. So it's kind of like he's gonna destroy the planet.
he got a job making noise.
He's really good at it too.
Yep.
Goodness gracious, one could hope. So, Britt, do you want
Moving
to talk
along.
about this piece
No,
of
we
crap?
don't. No.
I don't
Yes,
understand why
describe
he
the
hates it
turd
so
and why you love it.
much. I don't think
Because
it's that bad.
it was the case of where they took something like, let's make a random story. M. Bison's this random white guy who ate his wife's baby and became the devil. What?
I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was pretty
Let's try
decent.
actually thinking then.
And the
Cut you. I will cut-
the action sequences were just garbage. The story was even less sense. It was just, I don't know what was with it. Like the,
The
guy who played.
I mean,
He
I
was
watched
better.
it after he was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so atrocious."
And we didn't even
atrocious.
mention that
All
on
these
here. The
things."
FP was better.
Oh goodness, no, we're not talking about that garbage. Wasn't the guy
no.
who played Liu Kang? Wasn't he like her mentor
no.
or someone who looks just like him?
Was
the
that
guy?
DDR?
Yes, the bad DDR spinoff thing. where
If you haven't seen it, go ahead.
good luck.
Make a game out of it.
Yep. Without
Mainly,
edges.
I just thought the main character was pretty. I think she's pretty. I like her.
There you go.
That doesn't make a good
There you go.
movie.
That makes a
But I
good
didn't think the
picture.
movie was bad. Anyway, okay.
Okay, so moving along, just because we're just gonna blow through it. Prince of Persia.
I like this movie.
I don't remember this movie.
I recently watched it again.
Gyllenhaal's a Middle Eastern man. Why not?
I'm not saying it made a lot of sense with the casting.
Well, it's just like Christopher Lambert is a Chinese deity, so I mean, it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's one of those. It wasn't bad though.
No, it had good action.
It had good
Decent
action.
effects for when it was around.
Yeah,
I think Jake Gyllenhaal,
whatever.
Gyllenhaal, Jake Gyllenhaal. He was amazing in Nightcrawler, which at first I thought was a Marvel movie, but it was actually a movie about a crazy guy.
Yeah,
Little
but
did
yeah.
I know.
I actually, I was actually trying to watch Assassin's Creed and couldn't get the subtitles to work, so I got annoyed
I haven't
and
watched
switched
that.
over.
I've heard both things about that movie.
Like, I got to the point where they, like, not at the very beginning because it was Spanish and I can kind of pick through Spanish and understand what's going on, so it didn't bother me. So I'm like, well, if the rest of the movie's like this, I'll deal. But then it went into other languages and I got lost. So I did like, well, it's called the Atmos, whatever, the device.
computer!
I actually don't really care for the games. They're fine. It just didn't pull me into it. But I was under the assumption that every time someone went into this machine, they laid down. And this thing is like this giant, like,
It goes
claw
on Matrix. It plugs
that-
into your back.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, that actually makes a little bit more sense to me because you're going through this thing cerebrally, sure, but you're not moving at all. It seems like they have far more range of motion and they can actually try to perform these stunts that they would as their
In
past
the game, it
counterpart.
made sense because there wasn't anything physical about it. It was just genetic
Yeah,
memories.
but this they added that to it, and
it's a movie. You had to make it more flashy.
it was interesting. It didn't bother me. I'm sure that people that love the games will have a problem. Again, this is one of those where I don't care about the games.
There's a pattern emerging.
Yeah,
here,
and I think a lot of people see that. It's just I didn't care about the games that much. I still need to go through them. But the movie up to the point where I was like, I see where they're going.
And that's the thing. So that was Prince of Persia / Assassin's
But yeah,
Creed.
yeah. Sorry, going back and forth. Prince of Persia is kind of hard to screw up. I thought it was interesting that they went specifically with Sands of Time.
Yeah. I thought it worked well. Once again, not bad, but I give that a 7. So it was a decent movie.
Yeah, I didn't want my time back.
No, so that's a positive. Moving along, we're just skipping forward. Ratchet and Clank.
I like this movie.
Explain to me why, because I love Ratchet and Clank. I've never seen the movie though.
Like, it's one of those just kind of fun kids movies, and I'm okay with that kind of movie because there's not a lot of thinking to it. It had pretty intelligent humor to it. A lot of it's subtle. Like my favorite part, trying to explain to you would not seem funny probably, but there's the main bad guy is ranting and raving on how he wants to destroy things, and his like assistant robot's coming in with his little tablet clipboard thingy and he's typing away on it, and he just mentioned, or the main bad dude yells that he's ready to like break things or whatever, and the robot just kind of spins around and goes back out the door. It was just so subtle that I was just like, that's great. Yes. But it has that kind of sarcastic humor throughout the entire thing, so it was fine.
Awesome. So worth watching then. Definitely.
Worth watching. I mean, even if you don't like Ratchet and Clank, you don't even have to. It starts where he's just becoming a hero.
That's cool.
And I like the games. They're stupid, fun 3D
Oh, yeah, no, they're
platformers.
awesome. I love
There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong
the
with
The new
games
them.
are
one's
great.
fantastic. I think it's.
I haven't done the new one.
revitalization Of
It's like-
the old style.
Jack and Daxter.
Yeah.
They're fun. They actually show Daxter in this.
Really?
As they're like going through trying to find new heroes.
Yeah.
He pops up and they just keep going. Yeah.
They're like, nah, never mind.
Things like that make me giggle. So
So last ones here. We'll just knock these out really quick because I haven't seen any of these or any of these. Assassin's Creed we already kind of talked about.
a little bit, yeah. I won't watch Angry Birds.
Yeah, Angry Birds. I refuse to watch it.
No.
Why would
I
you?
won't either.
Why is that? Why does that have a
thing.
story?
I don't care if it's good. I won't. I'll watch Tangled again because Tangled's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, we agree. Tangled.
So let's talk Warcraft. I haven't seen all of it. I got bored.
Okay.
You know,
so
a lot
I
of
watched
people
this all
liked
the way
it,
through.
and the movie was really profitable.
It did better in China.
Gee, I
did
wonder why.
I didn't have a problem with the movie. They followed the lore well enough.
Yeah.
And there's only so much you can do when. All right, so the game's been out since what, 2001? 2000?
Something like that. Yeah.
It's you have had all of those years of this continued story development. It's hard to cram that into one movie.
Don't try.
And this follows a lot more of the Warcraft stuff, not World of Warcraft.
Which is
So if
good.
you've only done World of Warcraft, this is before that that they cover in just Warcraft,
back
where
before the story started to completely.
fall apart.
Bleh.
But I thought it was acceptable. It was fine.
I like that. I just go. I will shut up now. Let me
I'm
talk.
so sorry. I just have to throw this in there. Fun fact. Uwe Boll wanted to direct this movie.
Yes.
And Blizzard
been
said,
much
no
worse.
thanks.
Not you.
David
Anybody but
Bowie's
you.
son, but not you.
Yeah.
Please. No, it really was David Bowie's son, by the way, that made the movie.
He did fine.
Cool. Well, good for him.
For what it was, I thought it was fine. The CG in it was not the greatest because there was so much of it. It's kind of hard to get a whole bunch of people in orc costumes.
Lord of the Rings.
Those aren't as
A
big.
decade earlier.
Those aren't as big.
Don't care.
Shut up. There's a big size
feel
difference.
like
You
they
can't
could-
have someone in this giant foam suit. It would look silly.
You could do it in CGI though, and that looked good. They think of Two Towers. Done.
I think you could do it and tweak it. I think it would be fine. And it's Blizzard.
Okay.
They have all the money in
They
the
have all the
universe.
money, so it's fine.
But I'll take
Yeah.
that. That's one of the things that turned me off was the really bad blue screen CG stuff. Here's
Yeah.
something that I don't get, that I would love to see happen. You have Blizzard, who at this point, some of their cutscenes are pretty long, pretty expansive. For what reason?
Why
is
haven't
it?
they? Yeah.
Exactly. Why haven't they done their own thing? I want an Overwatch series.
I
would watch the crap out of that.
I don't
too.
like arena shooters. I get bored. I understand why people like Overwatch. I do. I get it. It's a good game. I'll take, Unreal Tournament or Championship or the Quake
desperately
Team
want to
Arena.
know more about those characters, though.
But the shorts that I have watched for it made
Are
me
so
excited for
good.
the game.
Yeah.
And then I played the game and I was like, meh.
I was the same
Whatever.
way. I don't play it. He loves it. He puts hours and hours into it.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
It hit a
He
point
did.
where it's just like,
I was like,
"Wah."
It's not my cup of tea. I don't want to play it. Whatever. But I love the shorts.
The shorts were
And I
great.
wish so much it was a movie or an MMO.
Yeah.
like it was supposed to be. Tight.
That-
If it was an MMO, I'd be all over that.
They could have made an MMO and then just gone straight into this is an arena.
Yeah, like the
Had it-
PvP mode. Yeah.
Had it be part of it. It would have been great.
So I love that. I'd love to see a CG Blizzard made Diablo series or
Please.
a Warcraft thing.
Granted, I'd
or
still prefer live action, but
Lost freaking Vikings. Please. Wouldn't that be great? Just like a web series,
yeah.
man. Because, because Torbjorn is one of the Lost Vikings. He's just like in the future with the claw. And it's like, hey, look, let's use that guy and make him turret so everyone hates his guts. Done. Done. For the last
Okay.
time, I'm Swedish.
didn't Blizzard do one of the DC
Yes,
fighting
they did.
games
They
for
did
Sega?
yeah, and
the
for
one with like
with like Darkseid and it's just as
yeah,
good as
it's
whatever it
got
was.
mullet Superman.
Mullet's 90s Superman.
Yeah, the permed mullet. Yeah, it was disgusting.
the one right after the one right after he came back from the dead.
Yeah,
The mullet, leave me alone. Hate you.
you ever perm your hair? I'll shave it.
I don't. This is just naturally.
Perm gets curly.
I let it down, and it was just like, oh. Wish we had a fan because it's really hot in here.
It is funny.
So that's the end of my list, except.
All right, I think you and I are both excited about this. Yeah.
They are making a Dragon's Lair movie. And no. They are making... Don Bluth is making a Dragon's Lair movie.
Yes.
If you don't know who Don Bluth is, one, shame on you. Two, let me fill you in here. So Don Bluth,
Anastasia.
yes, Disney animator who
Dumb
then went up to
movie.
make his own stuff. Anastasia was okay.
No,
Just
she
for
died.
Christopher Lloyd. She died.
No.
Alternate ending.
I love that movie.
that's
The music
great.
is so good.
Animation's great story. Nope, she died.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Then
many Disney movies are
that
really
makes
good?
Little Mermaid
Okay.
completely terrible too, because
Yeah.
technically Ariel kills
She
herself
could.
at the end of the movie.
Well,
too.
I mean,
Exactly. And
we're going
Tangled.
way off subject, but Ariel, you couldn't sign something to him.
Right.
Hey, we've met.
I love you.
Like, you could. I don't know sign language, but you could hack through that
She's
somehow.
royalty. They don't need to know how to read her right. It's a snarf wrangler or a
Not only did we
hopper.
give you legs, we took your brain.
Okay, so but he did.
I'm sorry. You were saying you liked Tangled a lot.
I like
That's
Tangled.
really different from the real story of Rapunzel.
Yes.
The prince,
So-
or not the
But
prince,
they're-
but
Come on now. Come on now.
But Anastasia was real.
Uwe Boll boxing match. Go.
She died. Rapunzel
And they didn't
is
know that.
still fictitious.
They also did not know that until 2008.
So, still died.
And that movie was made
She
way
was
before
deaded.
2008.
To her credit, that's true.
They still believe she was dead.
No proof. I'm cutting it off there. Don't care.
Fight.
Okay, so Don Bluth, American Tail, Secret of Nim. I love Secret of Nim with a righteous
that's a
passion.
good
Secret of Nim, I actually really like American Tail.
Yeah, like I have a Secret of Nim
Yeah.
poster
Yeah.
above my desk. Like I'll put a picture of it. It's like
It's good.
But I mean, other like what else has he done? I'm forgetting now all the cool stuff he's done. He did We're Back, a dinosaur story. Thumbelina. He did Attack on Titan. Whoa. Titan AE. That was the last thing.
I
he did.
love Titan AE.
Super unappreciated movie. Very adult for a cartoon.
Yeah.
But really, really good. This will be the first thing he's done since.
In his honor, if there is another planet and I have to actually get to name it, or if anyone else does, please, Bob.
That crap's Bob.
It's Planet Bob.
In the loving memory of Don Bluth. Well, he's not dead yet, but.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Jeez.
He's getting old.
But in his honor, I definitely.
Yeah. So that stoked me out. Like, we haven't seen much of it since late 2016, but they're doing it old school, hand-drawn animation.
So it's going to take time.
Take your time. It's going to be great.
There's not enough of that anymore.
Nope, because everything's CGI now. Disney.
Well, it's cheaper.
Yeah. I like old school animation, but it's like you said, everything, it's cheaper just to throw it in a computer now. But,
Yeah.
And that looks good. Like, Tangled's one of my favorite movies of all time. Good CG works well, but I think we need to... Guys, I work at a retro video game store. I like old stuff. There's a place for things like this, and for things like PS4. Just like you can't just drop something old just for all the new stuff, because that's like me. Every person I've talked to that's into retro gaming has one of these stories where either, man, I was a stupid kid and I threw out my stuff, or I sold all my crap for
I got rid of my stuff in my garage sale, or my mom took it and sold it in a garage
Everyone
sale.
has that story. If you have one of those stories you want to share, let us know at podcast.
Don't.
But it makes me very sad. But everyone has that
We
story.
get it.
Where we have.
I
that
sold my
thirsty-
entire Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles playset, sewer set, the entire thing, with pretty much every character in a garage sale.
Have you looked at how much that costs?
No.
Yeah. Good.
I did a few years ago, and I think I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. So we've all had that thing where we have that thirst for the new and the flashy, but I think there needs to be people like Don Bluth and stuff that sells like older retro stuff, because the past is important. And it's like how we talked about nostalgia.
It's not even, for me, it's completely different. I like the artistic way that goes. Like, it's just, there's nothing that beats hand-drawn animation. It's so beautiful.
If it's like Mortal Kombat, that thing, that's The Journey Begins. That can go straight to hell. But like good hand, like Disney quality, or even like Nickelodeon, Rocko's Modern Life kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you watched Nickelodeon recently, or like the Disney Channel?
I don't need to lose brain cells.
Oh.
But then again, I think that's kind of unfair. I think a lot of the stuff we watched as kids was dumb, but it had a little bit more of an edge to it.
Yeah.
Which still makes it relevant.
And this could just be grumpy old people speaking, but I don't think so all the way.
I don't
really
think so. I don't think Are You Afraid of the Dark was dumb. I watched some of those episodes
No,
now.
I still like that, actually.
Yeah, I watched some of those episodes
It
now,
is
and I'm
dumb.
like, man, that was a
But
really
some
deep
of them were kind of
concept.
creepy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and it's about, some of them are about like the
Y'all remember
acceptance of
watching
like
the
grief,
Goosebumps
and
TV
I
show?
love those.
Yeah.
Those are so good. But I also don't think. I think.
How did they make Legends of the Hidden Temple into a movie? Why did they do that? Yeah, that's a movie.
What?
Legends of the Hidden
didn't
Temple.
know.
The kids' game show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made that into a movie.
No.
Yeah, recently. Like as of last year,
I
I
gotta
think.
look that up. I'm not sure I want to.
Don't.
But
It's not
coming
long.
next,
A little over an
post-apocalyptic
hour.
thriller Guts. Why? How is this getting to every show? Okay, so we're just about to wrap it up here. I want to do one more thing just to kind of top it off. So, what do you guys think makes a video game movie either good or bad, or like to me, I think it really is like if you have a good story, stick with the story. And I have an example here that's not a video game movie, but I want to talk about it because it makes me angry. In any case, be it a comic book or a novel, if you have a great story, you'll have some directors where it's like, I wish to add my creative vision and make it more magical.
Don't.
Or we can't afford to do this, we're going to do this. Then just don't make it. Or we're going to take a story and we're going to butcher it so much it becomes something else. How about you just make something else and call it something else? My biggest example here, and one of the worst movies I've ever seen that's actually a pretty good movie, is Wanted. You guys seen Wanted?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Decent action movie. Assassins, curvy bullets, magical, whatever.
I get completely BS, but I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah. Have you ever read the Wanted comic book before, John?
No.
Okay. So,
And I definitely won't play the game.
oh no, the game. So the Wanted comic book was there's a guy who finds out, whatever, that his dad was murdered, and his dad was a supervillain, like Magneto, Brainiac,
Okay.
Apocalypse, supervillain.
Cool.
And because he's dead, there's a spot in this like Injustice League kind of thing where he is the assassin, and mind you, he's the only assassin. Other people are other stuff. where it's a world where superheroes have killed all the good guys and they run the universe pretty much.
Wait,
And he's-
superheroes have killed all the.
No, the supervillains, I should say. sorry.
Okay, I was like, so they all just like drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Exactly. Welcome to Cult Cast. It's a world where the bad guys have won.
Okay.
And strangely enough, even though the bad guys are in charge, it's very much like everything else, which is another whole kind of cool concept of the book. Where
Yeah, they got what they wanted.
Yeah,
and
things
they're
haven't
like,
changed much.
Okay.
So the whole of the comic is about people backstabbing each other and then going to other dimensions to kill more superheroes because it's funny.
Okay.
And the movie is about assassinating basket weavers with the loom. So
Yep. No.
you have supervillains and cool stuff, and you're like the screenwriter who's like,
Hey, binary coding. I mean, you got to put that in.
the loom of fate.
I get it. I do.
I just threw my notes away, so I don't know what else we're doing. Go on, guys, talk away.
Here you go, buddy.
It does make sense whenever you're adapting something into a movie, whether it be a book or a video game, you obviously have to tweak it. Time constraints. It can only be X amount long. There's you have to think about your budget, and there's a lot of stuff that comes
In defense
into
of
play.
that,
But
Harry Potter.
Hate those movies.
I love the first and second one.
Most of them did okay. They didn't fully encompass the books. You can't get all the emotion because there was just too much there.
But they were
try-
reasonable.
They
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah.
They tried. I
Especially-
can watch all of the movies and go, okay, I get what you're doing. You left out some stuff that I thought was important, but I'm me, and who cares what I think?
But I felt like Sorcerer's Apprentice and Sorcerer's Stone.
was a whole
My
Sorcerer's
bad.
Stone, yeah.
My bad. Sorcerer's Apprentice is different.
I like that movie too.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Nicolas Cage playing himself. Crazy man.
I felt like the Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets did a really good job staying faithful for the most part.
The best they could, yeah.
Yeah, I think they truly did the best they could in those two movies.
But the writing also
Welcome to Harry
changed
Potter
so
Cast.
much in the next one and beyond. Like it became a little bit denser. There was more
Yeah.
information that they had to leave out stuff, but I think they left out stuff that was really important. But either way, we're
like
going.
Hagrid. All of Hagrid.
Yeah.
there was some stuff in Order of the Phoenix that they left out that I think they should have added in there.
They left in all
And
the
then-
kissing.
And I think it's a little weird because they
yeah.
left out the mirror that Sirius gives Harry,
it's
but
there.
then it's there in 7.
Yeah.
Like in movie 7. So I thought that was a little weird.
Curse of different directors too in that case.
Yeah. But I guess in that
I mean, when your Dumbledore
defense.
dies, it's.
Oh, Richard Harris.
In their defense, though, I guess they were like, you know what?
I think I just
well-
like having you guys make that sound.
In unison.
But I guess they were just like, oh, most people that are watching these movies have read these books, so they'll
they
know
can
where it's
follow
coming
it.
from.
I
Exactly.
get that. So, but I think that's an example of where they did well enough.
Yeah. But I think they should just borrow from the story as much as possible. Borrow from Silent Hill where you actually used the video game music.
I think they should have asked, why is that monster there? That's all they would have had to have done is go, why is that monster there? Don't just pick monsters.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yes.
cool.
Don't pick them because they're cool. I don't care at that point. You make me lose interest in it. But there was a reason. That's why those movies were bad. Not because they didn't make it look nice. They had the atmosphere perfect, I think, in the first one. Second one, no, that was junk. But
that fight at the end with the Pinhead.
not even that.
Keep coming back to
Just
Hellraiser.
mixing them all up
Just like
today.
saying about
The
it.
forced love story in anything gets stupid.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. Why? Why was that needed?
Could be good like in Final Fantasy VIII.
But I think something all
Not
of
forced
these...
though.
No.
It kind of just happened.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
And Squall didn't try to help. He hated her guts for a while. Anyways.
Yeah.
But something all of these movies have in common is that the script is thoroughly meh. The scripts are so-so.
Yeah.
And so stick to the source material as much as possible for good games, and I think, or good books.
Don't make games about or movies about Tetris.
And you'll have a really
Is that still
good
happening?
movie.
Yes. Last time I checked, it was still happening anyways, yes.
Anyway.
The Tetris movie. No, but that's
Yeah.
I agree as well. So overall, to sum up,
Another thing, pick stuff that has plenty of resources.
content,
Just
not Angry Birds.
the pigs got the eggs. You're gonna go get the eggs. It's nothing beyond
But
that.
you haven't seen that. That could have worked because of its lack of story.
Well, that's what worked for Double Dragon. So I mean, You just make up your own story with characters that are familiar. Is it good? No. Does it make money? Probably. But that's something else. It's like, do you want good movies? Or do you want movies that make money? The curse.
Come sheep.
Join
the flock. Give us your.
There's the curse of the general audiences, and I think the pattern we've seen here is the movies that we've liked more than others are ones where we haven't played the games.
Yeah.
So this movie was made for you. It wasn't made for people that enjoyed the game.
I don't
Yeah.
necessarily like that because a lot of times I watch the movie and then it's like, let me go play the game.
Exactly. I think.
And then
they're
I
kind of
get so
backwards.
disappointed in the movie because the game was good.
It's like Ghost in the Shell, which I admittedly have not seen yet and don't want to because it doesn't look that good. And I love Ghost in the Shell, but I think what killed it, and from what I've read that's killing it, is it was not made for the fans. It was made to appeal to everyone, which sounds like it makes sense because you want to have a broad audience or general audiences, which I hate that word, so
But-
everyone will come see it. But when you try to please everybody, you please nobody.
I love
you hit a-
Cyberpunk. I'll see it anyway. I don't care.
You hit a point though with movies like that where if you would appease the fans, they would have talked it up so much with everyone that people would have gone and seen it anyway.
Yep, exactly.
It might not have been opening weekend, but what do you care, really? If it stays throughout the entire life of its, self inside of a theater and it makes your money, why do you care about opening weekend so much?
You know what's funny? Did you read that article I sent you about the Japanese fans' reactions to Ghost in the Shell? Mm-hmm. They loved it. They were like, it's a film adaptation, and she's pretty. We like it. They loved it. So, like, all of the
And all
complaining
all
is
the
here.
Americans are like,
Yeah, they're like, how dare they? And they were like, we don't care. It was good.
To be fair, a lot of Japanese people also really like Gundam Seed Destiny.
Oh, God.
So don't
Yeah.
care. Don't care. That's still like their number one Gundam series. So I like your shows. I don't like your opinions.
the Japanese people didn't like Elfen Lied.
I'm just saying, if it was...
That's why it didn't get the second season. It didn't do well enough over there, so they're like, screw Americans.
Oh, well. Cool. Well, that sounds like a good way to end things to me.
But I do feel like if it's a Japanese story and even the creator is saying like, no, I totally see, I can see this working, I approve, and then, that culture is like, yeah, we approve, I think we can let off a little bit.
If I think it sucks,
You know.
I still think it sucks, though.
But are you being too harsh at that point?
So-
Maybe.
Yes, because it's Ghost in the freaking Shell, and I want it to be perfect.
Okay.
I'm not saying I have to make sense.
Or be right.
That's right. My opinion is just that. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. You're all free to be wrong.
Oh my God.
No, but that's just
I
it.
live with this.
I know. Good luck.
Robots.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. You can smell them. It's over there. Sorry. All right, so let's wrap this up so we can get out of here
Cool.
because frankly my legs are falling asleep. Anything else we need to add? Video game movies?
No, I'm done here.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, listening. This has been Game Overcast. As always, if you have any stories you want to share, ideas for the next show, contributions, conflicting things, recipes, robots.
Tell us if we're wrong.
Yeah.
We don't have to care, but you can tell us.
Let us know at podcast@gameovervideogames.com.
Definitely.
If you like the show, share. Tell your friends. If you have someone like, hey, listen to this idiot. He doesn't like Nintendo. He likes robots. Let's make fun of him. Share the word. We're always happy to hear.
I like Nintendo and robots.
Yay.
All right, we're getting out of
Still
here.
dead.
Nintendo's coming. As always, I am Matt. I'm here with
Jonathan?
and we'll see you next time on Game Overcast. I don't know what this is, but goodbye.
Welcome back to another episode of Why You Might Be Insane for Not Going to Classic Game Fest this year. This month, arcades. Remember the good old days when you would sneak away from your parents to spend all your money on a game like Metal Slug or Ninja Turtles, only to get killed before getting to level 3? Well, it's your chance at redemption. This year at Classic Game Fest, we're going to have tons of retro arcade cabinets running for you to play. No quarters required. This time it'll be different. I believe in you. Classic Game Fest, July 29th and 30th. Tickets on sale now.